Hi everybody, welcome to another live stream. We're going to tilt the camera down a little bit because otherwise my my banner gets in the way of my face, which is probably an improvement for some people, but not necessarily for everybody. Yep, cheers for tuning in. This is a Patreon requested video. Now, I came up with the idea that I was tempted to do it, but I sort of put it on my Patreon page to say, right, okay, I'm thinking about talking about behind the scenes stuff. Let's talk about stuff I've not liked from the content I've done in the past. And I thought, is this something you would want to watch? And the feedback was pretty much unanimous. Like, everybody wanted to see this. Even when I posted that I was going to do it on my normal Facebook and Twitter, everybody came back saying this will be a good thing. So hopefully the views will justify that. But if not, this will be a bit of a fun chat anyway. So what exactly am I talking about with this? The idea is that I've been doing this channel content thing for, I've lost track of time now. We're talking probably a good, I don't know, maybe we're getting on to a decade now, or maybe 9-10 years. It's definitely been a long time now. And as I say, the channel is nowhere near as big as it probably would have liked to have been in 10 years, but then I was starting off quite slow and not really doing that sort of thing, and it was very amateurish back then, and it's not exactly professional now, but it's still better than nothing. And so back to then, I figured why not. But after this time, there, especially in the last few years, and I'm more focusing on the last, say, 3 odd years, maybe 3-4 years of content for this video. But there are just stuff that I've tried. I want to try new ideas. I want to talk about certain games. I want to try something a little bit different because it's kind of like a variety channel at the end of the day. And some of those things have worked. For example, in fact, if I show the screen, I can show you a good example, actually, of that. So let me... Sorry, my windows are in all sorts of terrible places here. And yes, we're going to get rid of that banner because now you can't see me at all. There we go. But now, I did a series called Shelf by Shelf. Was it Rate by Shelf? No, Shelf by Shelf. Shelf by Shelf. Come on, find it. You can find it. There we go. So this was where I did about 50 videos at the start of lockdown. And the idea with these was that I was basically going through every square in my Kallax in, I think, both my main room, this room, and the one in there. And basically was just talking about the game. So that's no different really from the Keep or Cull one that I'm doing now, but whereas the Keep or Cull series I do is specifically deciding whether I want to keep certain games or not, this Shelf by Shelf was literally just showing off my games collection and just saying why it was in my collection. Now, these got quite a lot of decent views. I mean, there was a big... nice, well, I mean, I say a lot of decent views. I mean, each one was getting in the region of like 2,000 views a piece, and these weren't massive videos. They were just generally small stuff. But at the start of lockdown, I wasn't at work, so I didn't have much else to do, and people watched it, people gave good feedback, and this was an idea that worked for the show. Now, of course, that's not always the case. There is stuff that I have done where it just turns out to be complete garbage, or it's something that I, think, oh, it's not too bad, it turned out okay, but was it worth doing? And it's not even just content I'm talking about. There's a mixture of stuff here. So we have got, as teasers, we have got some ratings for games that I think were too high. And no, there isn't any the other way around. There isn't a video that I could think of where I regretted giving the game too low a rating. No. This is a few videos where I think the rating was too high. So there's a few of them, and a couple of those are likely to anger some people, I think. But well, that's kind of the nature of the show. But there's also a couple where I tried some ideas for video formats and they just didn't work. They were just like, why did I think this was going to work? This was a stupid idea. And then there's even one where it was related to a video that I took down and I wish that I hadn't. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late to do anything about it. But yeah, there's definitely quite a few bits of variety there. I am definitely drinked up to the max here. I have got chamomile tea, I have got squash, I've even got spare coffee if I need it, decaf obviously, but hopefully my acid reflux doesn't get in the way because I just had a curry, which was probably not the best idea, but I'm trying to whittle back into some normal eating habits now that my acid reflux has at least been mitigated to a point. But maybe having a tomato-based chili coconut milky curry was probably not necessarily the best idea, so we'll see. So who we got there in the comments so far? We got Carlos, hello. We got the dad pun master himself, James, all good. Is one of the regrets not having a pet on screen like Tom and Paul? As much as I would love to have a pet, I live alone. Having a pet by yourself is not the easiest thing to deal with, particularly as I tend to be in and out a lot. Even a cat would start getting like, okay, where is my master? I demand feeding right now. You know, that would be a problem, but you know, I've never actually been to Tom's place. I have been to Paul's house several times, and yes, I do fall in love with Loki and Thor, particularly Loki, because Loki's a bit more receptive to being petted and stuff whenever I'm down there. In fact, to be honest, you know, that's the main reason I go around Paul's. It's not to play games with him, it's just to, you know, see Loki. Loki's clearly the star of the show, and clearly the one who deserves all the credit. I mean, that's the way it is. And of course, hello, Matt, how you doing? Hola to you too. So, hopefully we'll get some more people in during the video. It is 6 o'clock on a Thursday. I suspect a lot of people are still getting home from work, but and to be honest, I don't know how popular this is going to be. This is not a top 10. I'm just going to list 10 things, so the order is irrelevant. I've just tried to space them out in a way that I can, you know, talk about different things at once. So, you know the drill, people.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
That's why you got the 1 instead of the 10 first. Haha, see, I was prepared for this. So, this first one, if I can get the timestamps right, because I really do need to make certain I get these down. But this format was one that I did for a while, actually. It was a sub-series where I wanted to talk about add-ons to games. I wanted to talk about things like inserts and, you know, like board inlays and stuff like that. And, you know, it was just kind of go, you know what, I like blaning up my games and having good stuff like that, and you know, I figured it would be a good idea. Unfortunately, it turned out to not be the case, because the series that I'm talking about was called Accessorize, and it was a bad idea. This was a terrible idea, because what happened with this series was that, let's try and get a few up here, it was basically done in respect of, oh, a E-Raptor, or sometimes Folded Space, but occasionally Lizard Den did one, and just others, where they said like, oh, we've got a few things, do you want them for free, and I'll do a video for. The problem is, these videos didn't tend to be the most, like, well-viewed. I mean, I try to see if I can get, like, if I do Accessorize there, can I get this thing to search better? Unfortunately not. But I mean, for example, here I've got Accessorize Journeys in Middle-earth Insert 2.0. So this was like an insert for it. Now, if I actually go to view the thing, yes, some sound is going to maybe come through. Right, here we go. So, you know, it was not a bad little title screen. I sort of went with it. By the way, let me know if you don't hear the sound from the videos. I'm just curious. But this one, what did it get? 853 views. 3 years ago, 12 likes. Granted, I didn't know anything about SEO score at this point, so TubeBuddy wasn't exactly a thing for me back then. But yeah, 800 views. Nobody really cares a lot about accessories to the point where we're going to actually do anything with them. So it just ended up being a bit of a flop as a series. And it was a lot of effort to do these. It's not like they were, you know, hang on, why is the, there we go. It's not like it was an easy thing to do, because you had to you had to try them out, see how they worked, then you had to do the video to showcase them, show them in action, make certain that they were all good. And some of them weren't too bad. I mean, the Lizard Den playmats were good to show off, but then, you know, accessories for Eldritch Horror. You know, what was I showing off here? I think I was showing off yeah, card inlay tray, you know, with how that works. And then the board, oh, was it the inlay that you could put your character and stuff. And like I say, these aren't bad accessories, but, you know, as Carlos basically says, too game dependent. And, you know, Beyond the Base game already has that issue, but it was more problematic with these ones, because it was just, you know, if you didn't play the game, you had no interest. And if you had no interest in blinging up the game, then you had no interest even then. So I looked through all of these, and they just have no views on them. So it was just a complete waste of effort. Now, that's not to say I won't look at accessories at all. I still do a lot with Folded Space now and again. Folded Space have sent me stuff in the past. I've done videos on them, and they've been better received. I think they've been more popular than any of those back then. But still, I feel like if I'm just going to publicize an insert or something like that, then I'll just do it on Instagram. I'll just put it before, during, and after pictures and, you know, showing how it's used and taken out. And then I'll just put it on Instagram with a big story diary for it. Why spend the time doing a massive video with all the editing, all the work that goes into it? Because they're not short, they take time, all to get less than 1,000 people viewing. I mean, it was pathetic. So it just really didn't, you know, work out for me. And, you know, I stopped it after a while and just decided, yeah, you know, quit it. And even worse, the title there, you know, there, Accessorize. In the UK, I don't know if they're still around now, but that was a brand of shops where like teenage girls went to buy things like earrings and bangles and stuff like that. You know, it was basically teenage girl heaven. But, you know, why was I calling my series after a brand of girl earring shops and stuff? It just seems like such a stupid name to pick. And, you know, all the time to come up with a new intro for it and all that lot just felt like a total waste of time. So, yeah, this one was a bit of a dud. But these things happen. At least I don't have to worry about doing them ever again, because now I'm just going to use Instagram, which makes a lot more sense when you think about it. And okay, so number 2 is a game rating. Although first, who have we just had come in? So Mariano, hello, hi everybody, hi to you too, and hello Bradley from the USA, and Anastasia as well. So hopefully we will get some more from overseas. That would be quite cool. I'm sure we've got quite a few as it is, but I want a nice mix of UK and overseas as well. You know, get the chats going. So this one is a game rating. Now, you know, I don't think too many people are going to get annoyed at me for this one, because as much as it's popular with a lot of people, I don't think it's so sought after that it's like, oh yeah, you know, how dare you, sir? How dare you do this? Now, I do have to be a little bit careful with this. In fact, I am just going to very quickly sign out of my Board Game Geek page and go back in, because the reason I have a portrait called Dummy Player when I do my screenshots of Board Game Geek is because a lot of people in the past used to get on my case for having, you know, oh, you only played this game 3 times, you can't have an opinion on it or something. And it's like, I don't always track my games played, people. It's not like a big deal. And people just always kind of like, you know, everybody wanted to find some reason to be offended on the internet. So, you know, I decided to just come up with a new Dummy Player screen. But I'm talking about Paladins of the West Kingdom. I gave this one an 8 out of 10 when I first did a video for it, and you can check that out on the channel. It's a fairly old one, so it's, you know, as much as I look back 3+ years, I'm like, oh my god, it's not proper HD, it's all horrible, there's no color correction, I hate looking at myself in old times. But the thing with Paladins was that the game itself was fine. I mean, I didn't mind it that much, but I think I was riding a little bit of a high train, because I would have played this shortly after playing Architects of the West Kingdom, and Architects of the West Kingdom and Raiders of the North Sea were already in my collection at that point, so they were like, oh yes, I love these 2 games, these are great, oh, I got another one that I can try, Paladins, oh, this looks nice and meaty, I'll go for it. And I think I was riding that high, because 8 out of 10? That was a mistake, because it didn't take long after that video for me to start seeing a few of the chinks in the armor. I mean, the game is not terrible by any means, and it's certainly not bad, but this one should have been a 6 out of 10. If I was doing it on my current 10 scale, it would have been 6 out of 10 above average, because I still enjoy bits of the game, but this whole mechanism of picking the actions and then making them slightly better with these color meeples felt like such a rinse repeat. Every game, you basically pick 2 of these actions and you spam them. Occasionally you'll do the develop action because you want to make these better, so this one up here gets done. But basically with these 6 here, you basically choose 2 of them and spam them. That's all the game is. And what do you spam? Well, you obviously spam the 2 that are linked together. So here, I would do commission and absolve. Because if I do commission, I have to generate black resource for this action. It pops out blue, and then I use the blue for absolve, which then pops out black, which I then recycle back into commission. It's just, you know, it makes more sense to do it like that. And so if you try to pick any other combination, you basically end up nerfing yourself or making life harder. And what's the point in that? So basically I go through subsequent games going, right, am I going to do these 2 or these 2 or these 2? I don't know, pick two. And then the game isn't particularly thematic, it is bone dry, it's pretty much a solo game. I mean, I know Anastasia mentions it's good with two, it's probably not bad at two, but 3 and 4 player was absolutely pointless. There was no reason to play it multiplayer. And even as a solo game, I just didn't really feel like going through this rinse-repeat puzzle all the time. So, you know, it's not a bad game. I say above average because there's still, the puzzle is still fun to an extent. I love the stuff you can do with the townsfolk, like in every game. It's still, you know, well presented, it still looks good, and I like the paladins themselves that use for special abilities. So there is good stuff to be had here. But 8 out of 10, great game. This was not a game that I wanted to desperately put in my bag to bring to a game night. And even after a while, I got bored with it and sold it, and it just wasn't worth the 8 out of 10. You know, and I get that there are some people who think this is the best game that Garfield Games has ever released. I would struggle to comprehend that given some of the other stuff. But if this is your favorite, then fair enough. You got something out of it, and maybe I just didn't really get the full experience. But some people have said play it with the expansion. I don't know what it's like with the expansion, but I would actually give this one a try again with the expansion. If somebody wants to show me it with the expansion, I will play it, because if it improves the game, then who knows? And as I say, Maverick's even literally just suggesting it there. Yeah, have I tried it with any expansion content? No, I haven't, but I'm open to giving it a shot, because I think this game deserves another. I've been on a bit of a roll lately where I've been checking out older games I didn't like as much and playing them to see if my tastes have changed. I've had some pretty interesting ones like that. I mean, I played Brussels 1893 and I hated it back then, and I still hate it now. I still think it's boring. But then I hated the first edition of Great Western Trail. I then played the second edition version with New Zealand, and I like New Zealand. It's even on my shelf. So, you know, I actually then played the second edition of normal Great Western Trail with the rails to the north, and I actually still enjoyed myself. It's still nowhere near as good as New Zealand, but I enjoyed myself. It's better than hating it. So, you know, after a time period, things can actually, you know, do well for that. So, yeah, Paladins was just a little bit overrated for me, which is a bit of a shame. Sometimes I do make mistakes with my ratings, and, well, from other people's perspective, but this was a rating that I think I made a bit of a mistake with. You know, so that's fair enough. Right, let's move on to the third one. And before I do, let's see who we just got. I saw some new names pop up. What have we got here? So, yeah, kind of burnt out on Garfield Games. Hello to Peter. I absolutely hate BGG's rating system. I always regret an out of 10 scale myself. Well, my out of 10 scale is very specific, as a lot of people, content creators, only work with 7+. They don't work with anything less than 7 because it might as well be garbage. My scale actually does use all 10 numbers, and, you know, and a 4 out of 10 is still below average. Yeah, it's still below average, but it doesn't mean I'll never play the game again. It's not like terrible at 4 out of 10. It's just not up to par with a lot of the other stuff. I'll stick with Raiders, Viscounts, and Wayfarers. Good on you, because they are 2 of those are my favourites. Wayfarers and Viscounts. Raiders, I like Scholars, and is that the only one? Architects and Scholars, though. I do like those 2 as well. Okay, fair enough. Ashley, hello, finally able to make a live stream. Hello to you. Always willing to lend a comment and a smile and just generally be nice. It's like the person I need to meet in real life or something, just to give a hug. Ready, what's that? And Hans, hello. It's relatively easy. If you dislike a game I do like, you are wrong. Well, to be fair, that's what a lot of people actually sort of come out and say at the end of the day. So, you know, at the end of the day, you don't have to agree with all my opinions. You just have to be entertained and get something useful out of it. And of course, not forgetting, hello to, I'm going to butcher that name. I am so Sevar? It's probably not pronounced like that at all, but, you know, Hilmar used to give me so much shtick for pronouncing things like Nidavellir and stuff like that wrong because of the Icelandic pronunciation. What can I say? It's not an easy language, but, you know, thank you for, you know, joining in, and I do miss Iceland. Iceland's just a cool place. I love how it looks so crisp and snowy and that. I mean, you've got Christmas lights still up, and it's like 2 months later, but then your place looks like a winter wonderland when it's January and February, so that's always a good thing. All right, anyway, my number 3 as I rabbit on. Number 3 is, yeah, this one might get some opinions from people. This is recent. This is not the most recent thing, but I started this in the summertime, I think, maybe last April. And it went on for a few months, and people found it popular. Like, it did get some views, but doing this series kind of went against what I like to do on this channel. And I've certainly not necessarily started a war against these kind of things, but I've certainly been kind of against how previews are basically just adverts for selling a game. And so I actually do regret doing the Fear of Missing Out series that I did early last year, but also just generally the Kickstarter previews that I've done, because the problem with those ones, the Fear of Missing Out wasn't too bad. They did well and the series were good, but it took a long time to do. I mean, I had to basically sit and research all these different things, even though I was trying to, kind of, oh, hello. Oh, we got a shout out here. Hans 20, thank you for your honest reviews. Oh, thank you so much. I actually forgot that was a feature on YouTube because I don't so rarely use, but thank you so much. That is very generous of you. But the Kickstarter previews were, well, let's start with the Fear of Missing Out. The Fear of Missing Out series was essentially where I didn't do a lot of research for a particular game on Kickstarter, and I browsed a bunch of the hotness that was going on, and essentially gave my comments on them, like whether I liked the page, whether I was tempted to back them or not. And I did this for a little while. I mean, here we go, February, March, April, I think I had to skip May, did June, July, and then I kind of stopped. I'm not even sure if I did in August. Oh no, 10. I must have done more, so let's have a look. July, June, April, March, February, November. Oh, so I started it in 22, actually. I started it a lot earlier. And then I stopped it after July 23. And they've got views. I mean, look at them. 2009, 3,000, 2.5, 2.5, 2008, 2006, 2000. They got views and they got engagement. So they weren't a waste of effort. But I just don't really want to do Kickstarter previews that much anymore. I mean, I'll do the occasional one, but they are going to be very picky. They're going to be stuff that I really want to look at and stuff I expect to like. But I still get emails these days from indie publishers like nowhere, and they're just basically like, oh yeah, we've made this card game that's about playing cards and slapping the opponent, and it's based on badgers and stuff, and it's like, please help us. And it's like, I'm getting sick and tired of all these cold calling emails that come through, especially when they've not watched a single video on my channel. They refer to me as the Broken Meeple. I have a name, it's Luke. Okay, it's not difficult. I say it in every single video. But then also they sort of claim like, oh, this game will be a perfect one for your audience. Really? You think this game that would make exploding kittens blush with how lame it is going to suddenly be the target audience for my channel? It's like, no. So I hate getting those. But I have done previews in the past, and some of them have been for fun games. Tainted Grail 2 was a good example. In fact, funny enough, it is literally on my table at the moment underneath this lot because I'm currently playing through it at the moment. So yeah, there's like a add-on box for it, but it's currently underneath this. I've already played through chapter 1 and I'm enjoying it. But that was a preview I did enjoy. I have done previews for games that I just think, why did I preview this? The game's not that great. I haven't wanted to play it since it came out on Kickstarter. And on times, I've given my honest opinions on some of the Kickstarter previews, because I know a lot of preview channels don't give opinions. I do. I hate not giving an opinion. But when I gave slightly less than stellar opinions on some of them, then it just gives me backlash. Because obviously they want to sell the game, and I'm the one coming along not selling it. And then you look on the list of videos where he's like, oh, what content creators have come out with, stuff for these games? And, well, yeah, funny that you don't see my video on a lot of those Kickstarter pages, because I'm the one pointing out flaws, which they don't want. So, I can't be perfectly honest when I'm doing those videos, and they were a lot of effort. I mean, once a month I had to do all that research and get on there, do a massive hour chat, and then edit an hour-long talking video. My throat hated it because this was at a point where my acid reflux was really bad, so my throat just dried out. I mean, it's drying out now, but, at least it was worse back then. So as much as I don't go, oh, this was a complete waste of time, it wasn't. It still gave me a lot of engagement and got me interested in a few other games. But now I really just don't want to do Kickstarter previews, and I'll do the occasional one. You know, I mean, you've seen some of the stuff about the Earth expansion, Abundance or whatever it's called. I have been asked to do some content on that, and I will. But I'm not going to preview it and do it as an advert. I'm going to give my opinions as to whether I think the Earth expansion is worth it. But when they send that to me, you can bet I'm going to enjoy hopefully playing it. But then also Hegemonic Project Games, Hegemony, they want me to do something on World Order. I'm interested in World Order. It was like high up on my top 10 anticipated games list. So yes, I am going to be picky about these. I didn't even do a preview for Galactic Cruise. Everybody's been going on about Galactic Cruise lately. I enjoyed it when I demoed it, and I think it's probably going to be a solid game. I don't know if it will be. I've only demoed it. But I didn't want to preview it, even though they asked me, because I wanted to get a proper finished copy and review it honestly when it came out for actual retail or fulfillment. It just didn't feel right to join the hype train of going, this game's amazing, everybody pay $150 for this game. Just, I don't know, it just goes against how I want to do this channel. So these just ended up being, you know, a bit of a mishmash for me, and I just don't want to do them that much anymore. All right, oh, go by me. We've had a lot of comments since then. What have we got then? So since that very kind, what have we got? Jan, hello Jan from Belgium. Oh, Belgium, I miss Bruges. One of the cruises where I went to Bruges finally. I had a really good walking tour. I had one of the nicest waffles I've ever had. I had had some of the nicest beer I've tasted in your beer museum. Oh man, Bruges was great. Honestly, people out there, you want somewhere to go with your spouse in Europe for like a dating holiday. Let's say, yeah, you want to go on a date. You just want to go some quality time with your loved one, and the two of you want to go somewhere romantic. Trust me, go to Bruges. Bruges is nice. What have we got there? So I am more than once seeing myself disagreeing, but as a text reviewer, I like to see a contrary view and criticizing my enthusiasm with it sometimes. That's what I'm here for, to bring down, to be the curmudgeon of the internet. Oh, thank you very much, Peter, for donating as well. Man, I need to publicize this donation thing a bit more, but just donate reasonably. I don't want people like living on baked beans for a week just because they want to support the channel. As much as supporting the channel is fantastic, make sure you can eat next week, all right? I love the series. For me, it was glad I'm missing out. I had some bad experiences with Kickstarter before stopping, and the series was a factor. Fair enough. And as I say, the series was useful for people, so it wasn't a waste, but it's just too much effort, and I kind of wish that I'd just maybe not done it in the first place. There are channels who focus too much on Kickstarter at the moment, and granted, most of them are just advertising a game. But what I might do from now on is, rather than do a whole series on Kickstarter, because I'm running out of content to put in the podcast episodes, I might do a segment in the podcast where I think about one, maybe two games on Kickstarter that I'm intrigued by, and and talk about those. Maybe I'll just do it as a podcast thing. That might actually be better, rather than doing a whole series on it. What do we got? I tried to stay away from Kickstarter content for the Sigma wallet. Yeah, that is definitely a thing. As a German, Essen is kind of mandatory. Yes, Ashley wants to go to... Ashley, if you can go to Essen this year, please do, because I will be there, and I would love to see you, all right? That is definitely something that has to happen. But yeah, Essen is kind of mandatory for me because I can never get to the US for a convention there because it's too expensive. But Essen is the one that I can drive all the way to from Britain, use my car, use the car boot as a way of getting my review copies back, and just generally enjoying myself because, I like going to Essen. Essen's good fun. Let's see, anything else we've got on here? I enjoy crowdfunding. A few years ago, I backed that many on Kickstarter. I got the Super Backer badge. I've since slowed right down. Yeah, so have I. I don't back much stuff now. I mean, what did I have recently? The Fox Experiment. And I gave that, and when I reviewed it on my podcast, I gave it like a 6 out of 10. I just didn't think it was that great. So that was a waste of money. What else have I backed? I mean, the stuff that's arriving. Robinson Crusoe's upgrade pack is arriving soon. So that's going to be a thing. Technically, Tainted Grail Kings of Ruins was not a Kickstarter back because they gave me that pledge for doing the video. So that doesn't really count. Stellaris I'm still waiting on. That's been taking forever. Is there anything else I'm even waiting for as a Kickstarter backer? I'm not entirely sure. I've really oh yeah, Deep Rock Galactic expansions. Yes, that cost a lot of money. That was way too expensive, but it's Deep Rock Galactic. Of course I wanted those expansions. That was the thing. all reviews should be done on the podcast. I'm not doing every review on the podcast because nobody, most people won't watch them, and I need to do the proper videos for them. But certainly the podcast reviews have been very useful at helping me to catch up. My schedule that I have on the other wall, I write down what reviews I've got to do, what stage they're at, and that. It's a lot quieter now that I can cover stuff on the podcast. So it does have a useful thing. And talking to conventions, it's AirCon. Looking forward to that. I won't be at AirCon, sorry. This weekend I'm at London. I'm going to Gosnells in London. It's for a mead festival. They got like breweries doing mead, and I've just suddenly in the last few months got really obsessed with mead because I love honey. So I'm going there with a couple of friends to drink some mead. So that should be pretty fun. Right, anyway, I have spent way too long on this. We need to move on to my fourth one. Okay, let's take some chamomile tea first. I do love chamomile tea. It is nice. I forgot to put honey in it. I'm just reminding myself I forgot to put honey in it. How dare me. All right, so looking at my fourth one. This is another rating one. Yes, I've tried to alternate rating for a game with a proper format for a game. So this one is going to annoy people. Although it's still going to only annoy a niche group of people, okay? And I do mean niche because like Hegemony, this game, and I'm not talking about Hegemony, this game is very niche with the heavy, complex gamers. And so far, it just seems like when it comes to what's hot, the hotness these days, the more complicated you can make it, the better they like it. And it just seems that everybody just wants complexity for complexity's sake now. Now, this is recent, because I did do a video review for this, and I, made a big deal about it. I did a very long review, and it was done from a solo perspective only. However, I probably gave the rating for this game a little bit too much, because the one in question, and I'm going to see if I can get it easily on the screen. Where can I get it? Come on. Can I get it? Well, we'll just do it anyway. It's Voidfall. Voidfall. 8 out of 10, question mark? Yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake. I did this massive review here. I mean, what is it, like 33.5 minutes? This is one of my longest reviews I have done. And it was basically... Yeah, I mean, it's not even the longest review I've done, actually. I think the September review, which I'm going to air this weekend, is actually a couple of minutes longer. I think that's 35 minutes for the September. But this one, I did a huge review of this, and I put some pros and cons and reviewed it entirely from a solo perspective because, honestly, I thought the multiplayer was just not worth it. This game doesn't warrant playing multiplayer. There's barely an interaction in the game. It takes hours and hours and hours, like way too long, and then you actually play the game because that's just how long it takes to set up and learn the rules. But it takes even more hours on top of that. It just takes forever. Now, I gave this, spoiler alert, where did I see it? I get the stars. Where's the stars? Come on, can I get the actual stars thing up? That would be good.
Genre or in this type of set, then how that's solid. Like the game.
There we go. So I gave it an 8. And I was contemplating giving it a 7, and, I thought like, oh, should I give it a 7? Honestly, I think my Voidfall should have been 6 out of 10, because 6 out of 10, I think, kind of describes the game my feelings are, because it certainly has gotten overrated now. Everybody is banging on about it on Facebook groups. I can't go 5 seconds on Facebook without somebody saying, Voidfall is the best game ever, there is no substitute, and I love it to bits, everything about it, 10 out of 10. And I'm like, come on. Really? This game is one that takes an hour to set up, an hour to take down, anywhere between 3 to 7 hours to play. I have seen games go stupidly long with this one. And I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I did enjoy the solo mode. The solo mode is the way to play this game. Multiplayer is pointless. Play it solo, play against the AI, and use those cool focus cards that you get in solo mode. But the thing is that an 8 out of 10 has to be a game that I really want to play. Like, it's a great game. Like, every now and again, I want to play this game. I will put it in the game bag to take to a night. This never wanted to go in the game bag because it was a massive faff to take it anywhere. But it had to be something that I wanted to get out. On top of that, the app. There's apparently an app for this game where you have, like, somebody's done a fan app for this. So you can play it online. I've been saying to myself, I'll play it on there, or maybe I'll play Voidfall on Tabletop Simulator, because I'll essentially get something out of it there. But I haven't even done that. I've not even tried this app. I've had no desire to play this on Tabletop Simulator, and I've got no desire to play it if it sits on the table in front of me. So why have I given it an 8 out of 10? That is too high. And it's not that the game is bad mechanically. There are some mechanics I don't like. I do think the way that you get ships out is dumb. I don't like that at all. You know, I've got to do an action to take my ships from this bit to my board to this bit of my board, and then I've got to do another type of action to get them from this bit of the board out onto the map. Why can't it just be a one-step process? Why has it got to be 2 steps to get to one thing? But it just didn't, you know, that sort of thing aside, you know, the game was still fun to play in solo, but the fact that it is so much faff to set up and learn, I had to constantly rules reference in this. I mean, you know, what's this? Oh, Ian O'Toole does his best for the graphic design, and honestly, if Ian O'Toole wasn't involved, I think this game would be unplayable. But his graphic design is great to get some of the rules down, but there's a lot of edge cases, there's a lot of micro rules, and it's just a super complex game anyway, that 8 out of 10 just seemed very high, and I only did this a few months ago, and already I'm like, I should have given it a 6 out of 10. I mean, hell, I got enough backlash for this video because I gave it an 8 and said that the multiplayer wasn't worth it and didn't give this a 10 out of 10. But yeah, if I'd done this video and given it a 6 out of 10, I'm pretty sure I would have had my channel, like, you know, invaded or something. It would have been insane. But, you know, it's not a terrible game. It's a decent game. It's still, and I can see why some people have gone goo goo gaga for it. But yeah, 8 out of 10. I rated it too high. I think I was trying to be nice. Maybe I was trying to be nice to David or, you know, Turksy or Mindclash. I don't know. Maybe I was just riding a bit of a high from a couple of solo games I played. But when I sat down and thought about it recently, I'm like, I have not wanted to bring this game out at all. I've already sold my physical copy of it. I've not wanted to play it online, not even wanted to play the app. So how can it have been an 8 out of 10? It was too much. All right, what have we got on there then? So, has the Dune Imperium apology already come to pass? I have not mentioned anything about Dune at this point. Not to say that I will be mentioning it later, but I have certainly not mentioned it so far. What have we got? I fell into this trap. More complex equals better. But if I'm honest, what do I play more often? And this is the thing. It's not to say that I only like light games. Now, I've got heavy stuff. I mean, hello. I mean, that empty space, right? Cool, blimey, I can't get my... It's very difficult to do this backwards. Kanban is missing from there because I literally played it on Monday night. I took it to a club. Guy wanted to learn it. We couldn't get 4 players, unfortunately, but I just played it with him as a 2-player. I forgot how fast Kanban EV is with 2 players. Wow. But I've got Lacerters. I've got Mindclash stuff downstairs. I've got Frostpunk, Tainted Grail, Kings of Ruin. I like complex games, people. Hegemony was my 3rd favourite game of all time. My favourite game of all time is a big, heavy Euro. My 4th favourite is a massive, heavy co-op. You know, I do like heavy games, but... yeah, this obsession with more complex is better is starting to get a little bit old. You know, the lighter games get forgotten. I mean, I would still happily play a nice, simple game of Cascadia. Cascadia, we played it a couple of times at the club as fillers. I still play it solo. It's such a lovely game, probably one of the best gateway games that's come out in the last 5 years. And when do you ever see it mentioned anymore? If they didn't release an expansion, would anybody mention it? No, because it's not complex enough to get on Facebook. Let's see, what have we got? It's a lot to learn, but it's not that complicated once you get it learned. I learned it, and I had to learn it over and over and over again. It's complicated. I played this one 2-player, but I haven't played it since. I just don't have the energy to set it up. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, deluxe version, game trays, and it still took an hour to set it up. Voidfall just didn't appeal to me, and I like really good solo modes. The solo mode's the best way to play it, that's for certain. I played 10.5 hours with 3 players. Oh my god. Oh, that would have hurt. Oh, I would have been my eye would have been twitching. I'd have been like, move, 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 you know, and gone like crazy with that. Oh, no way. Voidfall just didn't appeal to me because of the size of the game and the rules overhead and learning curve seems rough. It is, and a lot of people, a lot of fans of the game will tell you it's worth it and it's a brilliant game underneath, which is fair enough. The game is still decent, you know, there is a decent game underneath it, but how much faff do you want to put up with is down to you. There we go. Hello, Malik, how you doing? Hey, nice to have the Bosnia in there. Thank you very much for the kind words. Oh, blimey, what have we got? Everybody's like really hating on the 10.5 hours thing. ISS Vanguard, that's an interesting one actually, because I agree. I like ISS Vanguard. I did a did I do a preview? No, I think I did a proper review of it after I got it as a Kickstarter. But again, it just there was a lot of faff. It had a big learning curve. The whole dice game thing was a little bit meh, so it did have some mechanical issues. I love that binder. The binder with the book that you had for it, loved it. That was brilliant. So, yeah, it just had some issues. And finally, hey, the Kabuki Kid has joined us. So yes, we have got a lot of people in now. We got a lot of people watching. So thank you to everybody. Some love for Cascadia. I agree. So Cascadia's like such a good game. Oh, what have we got there? My issue with heavy games is in part because of the setup for heavy games usually takes an absolute eternity. It's why Mage Knight rarely leaves my shelf. Don't say that to somebody I know on Paul Grogan's Slack chat, alright? He's absolute big lover of Mage Knight, so anybody who says a bad word about Mage Knight usually gets it in the teeth. But, you have a point there, though. Some of the games that I mentioned, Mind Clash stuff downstairs, I love playing Anachrony and Tricarion, right? And Cerebria to a lesser extent. I only play them when my friends bring the game and set it up themselves, because I can't remember how to set the wretched games up because they take an eternity. But then Arc Nova, heavy game, barely takes any time to set up. Shuffle a bunch of cards, get the display laid out, dish out some of the... And this is with the expansion. I mean, there's an insert which helps, I'll admit. But still, just put the enclosures out, shuffle up the cards, dish them out to players. Everybody chooses one of their mats, and you're kind of almost set to go, really. It really doesn't take that long. Why can't we have, that sort of thing? And hello Vadim, just played Cascadia with my 9-year-old daughter, slowly working up to the Gallerist. Seriously, that's a bit of a jump. So, yeah, that one rating. I know it's going to annoy a few people who love the game, and to be fair, love the game. Just give me a little bit of my Facebook feedback, because you really are taking up way too much of my Facebook feed. But, I just prefer Mind Clash's older stuff, and, we'll get on to September when you hopefully watch the review. Yes, I have a few things to... say about that one. Talking quite a lot about these, but hopefully you're getting entertained, all 90 of you. Hello, Steven, wonderful man, you. You big me up too much, mate, but hi to you. Okay, so my number 5, or my 5th one I'm going to talk about. Oh god, yeah, this won't take me long. This, I've got some examples of this, but This was just a stupid idea, but not a stupid idea. It's one that has been done by a lot of channels, and channels particularly on Facebook and Instagram love to do these type of things. They like to do little videos where they essentially get given a game, they do some weird little competition thing, and they give it away. Giveaways. What is the flipping point? These ones, hang on, what's he said that? That time you switched that weird camera for a while. What weird camera? I haven't really changed the camera. Oh, wait a minute. Do you mean the one where I used to do it direct, when I had it straight like this? Yeah, when I was kind of like this, straight to a wall, and I used a fishbowl effect. Yes, I used a wide-angle lens, and I was kind of fishbowled out. Yes, I know which one you mean. Yeah, I look back at that, and I kind of think, yeah, maybe you had a point. Maybe that was a little bit bad. But don't worry, that lens is not used anymore. But yeah, giveaways. I just don't see the point in doing these giveaways anymore, because the thing with giveaways is, you get given a game, you do some stupid little thing like everybody comment on the page or answer this really easy question or something, and one of you can get a copy of the game. Well, firstly, I'm usually the one that has to handle the logistics, so that's a pain and potentially expensive. But also, these they take a little bit of time to do, because you've got to do the video and get the thumbnail up and edit the video and stuff, so it takes time. But also, who the hell cares? Look at this. All right, I've done, how many giveaways have we done here? So we've done the Zatu giveaway there. I've done I don't know why Sentinels and the Multi-View is there. Perhaps I did a giveaway there, I don't know. But yeah, there's a couple of weird ones that have turned up when I say title giveaway. Did I do a giveaway? Oh yeah, I gave away a copy of Sentinels in the Multiverse. I did a giveaway for the Quacks of Quedlinburg box. I did a Kienda one, I did a Catan one, I did a Orichalcum one. So I've done a few giveaways. Look at the view count there on the right though. 499 views. My giveaway results, well that was a giveaway results, but still 710 views. Kiender gave away 3 games. I gave away, what did I give away? Like Wingspan and a couple of other games there. Like Wingspan's a very popular game. You'd think people would want Wingspan. And 510 people are involved. it was pointless. You know, it got a few comments, but then I responded to a bunch of those, so not that many people even looked at it. For some reason, the Quacksa-Quedlinburg Megabox, the Beyond the Base Game review, Jesus, they get 8,000 views? When did that happen? I haven't really looked at the views for some of those old giveaway Beyond the Base Game ones. I had no idea that that one got so many views to review the Quacksa-Quedlinburg Megabox. Wow. I don't know what happened there, but I'm going to take that as a result. 4.5 for those, but that was a game review, so that was a review. And top 5 stocking stuffers games, that was a top 5 list. So you can tell which ones got the views because they combined the giveaway with something interesting. So, you know, I did a top 5 list. I did a review. I did a talk about why Catan is not dead to me, you know, compared to other games where everybody wants to harp on Catan. So those ones got more views, but the ones that were just straight up giveaways, 500 views, 710, 499, nobody cares. And I've even done something recently. If I go to my dashboard here, so let's go to my content recently. It wasn't a giveaway, but I did something with Steamforge games. Yeah, Steamforge games recently, where I got people to vote on a name for the Street Masters here, right? 1,000 views. That's taken a month and a bit to get that many views, but still not a lot of views for the time you take out of it. And it's just, why did I bother? You know, I'm not doing any more giveaways. Giveaways are done. They're a waste of time. You know, Instagram, you know, it's just like, win this fabulous game, simply comment and tag, and then you get tagged into all this stuff that you're not interested in. People still tag me and stuff, and it's like, get on, stop doing that. I hate it when it happens. But it just ends up being social media spam, which is annoying. And they just don't have, you know, much of a purpose, and you're basically got more chance of winning the lottery than you have of winning those particular games. And if you've got those kind of odds, wouldn't you rather win something on the lottery rather than a board game? Because if you win the lottery, you can then buy the board game in the first place. So what does it matter? I don't know. I'd rather just go and enter a poker tournament or something and try and win 50 quid on that. You know, that would probably be an easier way for me to get money than doing that. Although, haven't played poker in a while, but still. But yeah, you know, giveaways, I don't care. They're a waste of time. Not going to bother with them. So what do we got there? So I ignore giveaways. Yep, that's, yeah, for what it's worth. Yeah, definitely. I won a couple of contest things and never got my game. That sucks, sorry. Not into giveaways because I'm in Ukraine, and let's just say some logistical issues. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. You know, credit to you. People prefer to buy the games themselves. Not a fan of giveaways. They're fun to win, but otherwise they just get in the way. I mean, that's the thing. Most of you are kind of on the same, you know, bandwagon here. I prefer to enter giveaways a year after the competition ended. What, just to troll the user? That just seems mad. It was a mix and match. I think Zatu tended to send them out themselves, whereas other giveaways I had to do myself. So it did vary, as it varies depending on who you do the giveaway with. And so a lot of the times you also have to say, I'm only doing this competition for the UK, because if I'm posting it out myself, I am not spending the money to send it to Iceland, US, New Zealand, where it costs £1 million to do it. So I'm already excluding a lot of people who watch this channel for a giveaway. What was the point? What was the point? I just want you to give me a good review. Well, that's my main shtick. I've entered a few, but I've never won, so I generally just avoid them anyway. And I sometimes do giveaways in German, like a 3D printed insert, just to be nice to people. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, if you want to be nice to people. Although, why is it giveaway got to be specific to that? Why not just any other content? I'm slightly lost. But yeah, they just weren't much use. So, you know, giveaways, not going to happen ever again. I am done. They weren't worth doing, and they certainly aren't worth doing now. All right, let's move on to the 6th. Okay, my number 6 is the last of the rating ones. I had 3 specific ones where I thought the rating was too high and I want to bring it back down. And this is going to annoy a lot of you because lots of you love this game to bits, and somebody pointed it out earlier and I decided to be slightly nonchalant about it. But I'm sorry, I've said many a time that I kind of regret the rating I gave to your absolute beloved poster child of sci-fi. Yeah, Dune Imperium. You thought I was going to give an apology. Oh, I'm not giving an apology, mate. Well, other than the fact that I apologize for rating this too highly. 8 out of 10. No. No, 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 no. Now, that's not to say that I think Dune is terrible. Okay, I still will play Dune if it's offered on the table, with all the expansions. I want to play it with expansions. And certainly, I have actually a copy of Dune Imperium Uprising because before I did the review on the podcast, I wanted to see if Uprising improved things for me, and it kind of just kept everything on balance par. So when people want to play Dune, sometimes I even suggest it. That, it'll be a game night and somebody's bought Dune, and I'm like, I don't feel like teaching anything. You know what? I'll play a bit of Dune. Have you got the expansions? Yeah, let's play a game of Dune. Just don't play epic mode. So it just happened to, and as much as Hans says that yes, Arnak greater than Dune. Haha, trolls. But yeah, I wish that hurts. But yeah, the problem with this is that I definitely rode a bit of a high. I think I didn't play it enough, I think. I needed to play it even, because I usually play games quite a bit before I review them. This one I played a few times. I think I needed to play it even more to solidify my thoughts, because I think maybe on reflection the video could have been a 7 out of 10, although now I think I would give it a 6 out of 10. And a lot of these games I think I've rated 8s should have been 6s, because it is, for me, an above average game. The game always looks like a dog's dinner. And, the component quality and the artwork in this game is terrible. I'm sorry, but even fans of the game cannot defend how ugly this game is. So let's breeze past the aesthetics. The game itself is still just okay for me. I mean, it takes too long. This game should be like a 60-minute game, 90 tops. Every time I see it played with the max count of people, which is typically how people play it, it is taking 2.5, 3 hours, sometimes longer. If you play it in epic mode, it takes a ridiculous amount of time. And this is, you only have to get to 10 victory points. How long can it take to get to 10 victory points? So it just seems like a massive slog for a game that really should be a lot shorter. Is there still fun mechanics in it? Yes, I like worker placement, I like deck building. The problem is, the worker placement's probably the best part of this game. That aspect is done reasonably well. The deck building part, though, I'm not a big fan of the way the deck building is done here. There's some interesting sandworm pictures there. The card art is great. I mean, it's not bad, although to be fair, most of it looks like they've taken like a still from the movie and then just sort of filtered it. I don't know, but you can only mess up the likeness so much. Although some of the card art is bad. I mean, it does seem to vary. But the problem I have with this is the deck building part just isn't done right. I mean, there's too many cards that are garbage, especially in the base version of Dune. It was improved a bit in Uprising, and certainly when you get the expansions, there's more options. But the base game of Dune Imperium, when I reviewed this, a lot of the cards in there were just garbage. You didn't want to buy most of the cards for your deck, and even when you did buy a card from your deck, you didn't see it very often because the game, in terms of number of rounds, would be over before you actually got to really utilize a lot of the cards that you bought. So I didn't really get to enjoy it from a deck building perspective. And the game just felt too heavily induced to combat. Combat is, one of those things in this game where I think if you ignore the combat, you will lose. You've got to get stuck into this whole business of, getting into the mucks of this down here. And I just found that, well, I don't want to always have to focus on the combat. I want to do other things. Well, I like Cthulhu making an appearance. If Cthulhu made an appearance in Dune, that would actually make for an interesting plot point for a movie. And certainly would make the movies a lot more enjoyable than the current ones. Oh, I went there. But yeah, so the first movie nearly made me fall asleep. The second movie was an improvement, but still took about an hour and a half before it started getting into the good intrigue stuff, which I was actually legitimately interested in. And I would like to see where the story continues from this point, especially as I've heard so much stuff about Dune stuff post this point in the lore that I'm like, how on earth are you going to translate that to film? I can't wait to see that. That sort of thing. But yeah, there was just a few things that irked me the more I played this afterwards, and so I would have rated it a 6 out of 10. I rated Uprising a 6 out of 10. The game for me just isn't as amazing as, as other people have it, and some people find it like the best thing since sliced bread. I don't get that. There's aspects of this game that have got to be flaws for some people, but everybody likes Dune. I seem to be one of the people who doesn't love Dune to bits. You know, I tried to watch both movies, but you got Denis Villeneuve, or whatever his name is, to direct them. If you got somebody who actually knows how to condense stuff to a normal time limit, then maybe I might have enjoyed them more. But if I've got to wait, what, the equivalent of 4.5 hours to get to the bit that I'm actually starting to find interesting, that's taking too long. Dennis can't make a film short enough to keep my attention there. Here, the first film is basically panning shots of deserts, a very light little invasion battle, and then a slappy fight at the very end. You call that a climax? Even the second film's climax was lame. I don't know, it's like I wanted a little bit more action in 6 hours. Come on, I'm not asking for much. But I don't know, it shot well, the sound was brilliant, the visuals were great, you know, and the acting was solid. Okay, there are good things to the movies, alright, but I guess I'm just not the biggest Dune fan. You know, maybe that just doesn't help me enjoy this game as much. But the game is still decent, above average, 6 out of 10. I'll still play it. I'm just not a big Dune aficionado like a lot of people. And I can only just wait for the feedback that I'm going to get for this one. Let's see, what have we got? Kabuki rates this one a 9. That's actually quite low compared to what other people rate this game. So most people would rate it 12. Why do people like the deluxe components? I have no idea. I mean, you pay the cost of the game to get those upgrade components, and I think they look pretty bad, actually. Now, I've seen some people really bling this game out. Somebody in my local game club has really blinged out their copy. They've got like resin potion things for like the water and stuff, and vials and things, and oh my word, does that look good. But then you still have to realize that the art on the board looks crap. It's like insane. Arnak keeps better and better while Dune has become duller. And yes, Dune Uprising was a rip-off. That is basically Dune 1.25. That was a cash grab. I'm sorry, that did not need to be made. What have we got? The game is great, but still 8 for me. Unfortunately, it is a big cash grab. Uprising definitely was a bit of a cash grab. What have we got? I like the art on the board. The color scheme is nice, but I admit I'm not among the majority. No, but as I say, art is subjective. If you think it looks good, then feel free. Then by all means, stick to your guns. You know, don't let anyone change your mind. No, you can completely ignore combat and win. The stars have got to align for you. I mean, the stars that have to align for you to make yourself win means that you must have picked out very specific cards from the deck that let you score points, or you got super lucky with the stuff to boost your ability to buy the Spices Right stuff. But the way the stars have to align for that, Cthulhu might as well have been summoned at that stage. I don't have a problem with the board, but Luke always mentioned how he hates it. It's thematic enough. You can be thematic and still have good artwork. I mean, you know, just because the movies just because the movies have dull shots of panning shots of deserts doesn't mean you can't make the desert look somewhat nice. I don't know, make an effort with the art. What have we got? Combat is less needed in the first game. More recent one stinks in my opinion because of the worms. I still think combat was pretty heavy going in the first game, although, yeah, if you didn't like combat in the first game, Uprising is basically combat central. Those sandworms are Sweeney and unbalanced as hell. I mean, you can just leapfrog to the end of the game by a good victory point win with a sandworm. Combat cannot be ignored in Uprising. It is mandatory at that point. Combat is Dune. Why don't you tell the filmmakers that? Because apparently combat was barely even heard of in the Dune movies. You know, what'd you get? Like about 30 minutes worth of action in 6 hours worth of content? I mean, when did the second film switch on for me? When did I start going, okay, this is actually better? I mean, it wasn't too bad in the second movie with... I don't want to give too many spoilers out. That's what I mean. I don't want to give spoilers. You know, the first hour and a half just takes a while to get going, but a character goes through a transformation at some point about the halfway mark and almost kind of feels a bit like an anti-hero. When that happens, I'm like, ooh, hello, okay, I want to check out this perspective. This is different. You're not so much like a wet fish anymore. Let's go with that. And of course, everything to do with the Bene Gesserit in these movies, I love. The Bene Gesserit are my favorite characters. I love the way their society works. I love the voice when it's used. That's really cool. And all their intrigue and to see kind of makes me feel like sci-fi Game of Thrones with the Bene Gesserit. You know, so they are the highlight of these movies. What do we got? All 3 Dune movies are too slow. I've not actually watched the 1980s version, actually. I'll have to give that a watch just to see if it's any good. Hello from Brazil. Hello, Raphael. Thank you. If you don't like Dune as an IP, that can't help. Yeah, it probably didn't help. That's the thing. So there is that. The original movie is my favourite. These new ones aren't as good. Wow, I can imagine people would take your head off for saying that, James. But I don't know, maybe at some point I'll give the original one a look. You know, the original Dune. Because at least it condenses it down into one movie. So that'll be fine. And a few ratings. What we got? 8.5. 8 decimal ratings. Base game and expansions 10. 9 out of 10. I like base more than Uprising. What we got? Have you considered a film review channel? Funny enough, one that nearly missed the list, my number 11 for this, was I did a film vlog for the, what do you call it, the Monster Hunter movie, the one with Mila Jovovich in it, which actually is not a bad movie, actually. I mean, it's dumb, it's stupid, and objectively probably a bad movie, but it's actually good fun and pays good homage to the video game, so I had to give it some credit, and it's got one of the grossest type alien creatures in it. Ugh. That particular scene was quite hard to get through, but I did that vlog, and nobody watched it. So, yeah, as much as film reviewers get a lot of stuff, I wouldn't have the time to do a second channel for it. But maybe I might do some YouTube shorts for things like watching a movie or watching a TV show or watching a trailer. Maybe YouTube shorts is the way for me to go on that. What have we got? So this is more Dune. Dune Part 2 is the best thing I have seen in the movies in the past 10 years or so. What? Come on. What about Avengers Infinity War? And yeah, I know, I'm a bit more of a Marvel and DC superhero fan, so yeah, that's kind of thing. But, I mean, when did Inception come out? Was that over 10 years ago? I don't know. Inception was a fantastic movie. Problem is, I'm just not getting as into some movies like, I mean, the classics like Terminator 2 and stuff like that and Die Hard just aren't going to happen anymore. And what have we got? I love Denis Villeneuve, though I can't pronounce his name to save my life. Blade Runner 2049 bored the living crap out of me. That was so boring. Luke doesn't like Dune, everyone desert the channel. Oi, James, you're supposed to be helping me on this one. But yep, there's a lot of fans of Dune, and by all means, love Dune. You know, it just clearly isn't a... You know, the setting sounds like it has promise, but the way the story is told is just a bit too slow for me. It's like, you know, I say get on with it a lot of the times, and I just think the Dune movies need to get on with it. Alright, another swig. Yeah, this stream's going to go on for a while, but hopefully you got nothing else better to do. What have we got then? So, next one is... Yeah, so we haven't got any more game ratings. So we're now talking about content. I did a 3-episode little mini-series a couple of years ago, probably a few years ago, in fact. And it really didn't... It didn't get the response that I would have liked. I mean, some people liked it. You know, some people were like, ooh, okay, I like this one. But... let's see if I can find it. Here we go. This one I thought was going to be helpful because I was on this thing thinking, well, if I do reviews and top 10s, that's great. But why don't I do some stuff to help new people to the hobby, okay? And I don't just mean a gateway games list. I mean, like, you know, if you're coming into the hobby and you're getting subjective with all this different terminology, can I help with it? Unfortunately, the board game glossary turned out to be a bit of an unexpected failure because, yeah, it just didn't do that well. You know, it was a mini-series, and essentially I was doing board game turns explained. I went through all these different things. I went through, I mean, what do you know, like certain mechanics, certain things, like analysis paralysis, you know, what does that mean? And, you know, it was meant to help newcomers, and I did it throughout August 2020, right? So, you know, I thought this will be good, this will be useful to people. How many views do you think this got? How many views, eh? Let's load up on here, so, let's see.
On this video,
Oh god, yeah, this is when I was doing the stuff in front of the, what do you call it, in front of the other room, which, okay, I'm just going to take it off that, because that looks creepy. Can I get it on a more, slightly more normal? I look weird. I'm an ugly person anyway. But, yeah, and actually kind of makes a good point, actually. I've just literally spotted that. Yeah, I guess the people watching your channel are likely already knowledgeable, and that could be the thing. I mean, if you're brand new to the hobby, you probably aren't even aware of the whole YouTube content creation thing. So why exactly are you watching my channel to suddenly get this stuff in? And I don't wear these polo shirts much anymore with the logo, because annoyingly the polo shirts are too small. They, you know, I'm big shouldered, and as I go to the gym I get more big shoulder, but then I'm also, fat bellied, so these polo shirts feel too tight on me, and especially in the summer, I'm just sweating buckets wearing them. I do need to get a new set of polo shirts, or maybe just some t-shirts with the logo on it, because I like this logo. I think this logo is really good, but I do need to get something larger, like extra large size. I need to accept I'm a bit of a fat bastard, and need to make up for it. But anyway, yeah. What sort of terms have I got here? So I got gateway games. What was that? I got asymmetrical, a brain burner, micro game, filler games, CCGs, LCGs, and this was just the first one, and I was basically using a lot of these like terms, but it just didn't do very well. I mean, look at this, 2,800 views, right? That doesn't sound too bad. But then what did the other ones get? That was 2,800 for the first part. So let me show you terms part 3. All right, the last one in this series. So here we go. 1,400 views. 1,400. Wow. Most of my reviews, hell, my giveaways practically got to that level, of like lack of engagement. And this was in 2020. So nobody's even watched it since. I thought this was actually going to be a really good, useful series. And for some, I don't know what the reason was. I think maybe Ashley hit it on the nail. Maybe hit the nail on the head, sorry. Maybe that was exactly what it was. That the people who watch this channel already know these terms, therefore why are they watching it? And it was just a bit of a disappointment, because I thought it was going to be like my way of bringing in new people to the channel as well. Like, look, if you're new to games, watch this channel, because I'm thinking about your wallet at the end of the day. But yeah, it just didn't really have the effect. So just a bit of an unexpected failure. Not every format works, and this one thankfully only took 3 videos, although they were long videos. They were really long videos. They took a while to edit, and to see them get such a poor response and engagement just is a little bit sad, but these things happen. All right, what have we got then? So I love that series. By the time I saw it, I knew the terms. And that's the thing, yeah, by the time most people saw it, they knew the terms. Although, glad that you showed it to your wife. That was probably a good thing. What have we got? I've seen other creators, and this is the other thing. I've seen other creators do this, and yet they seem to get praise. Like, everyone goes on Facebook and shares their video and goes, oh, look, Rodney Smith's done this video to say helpful to new players or something. And it's like, well, I did one. Didn't have the same effect. So, where was the difference, frankly? Let's see. A newcomer wouldn't know your channel exists. Exactly. That was something that I didn't quite feel that. I'm too jacked for polos. What? Well, I suppose I have got big shoulders and, that. But, yeah, I'm not sure I would call myself jacked. But those polo shirts were large. They shrink, when you put them in the wash, and when I think they could be tumble dried as well. They shrink down. They get constrictive. I'll probably buy some of those polo shirts again. I just need to, I don't know, maybe some of those donations that I've had earlier. Or sorry, I'll put that towards some new polo shirts or something. And I'll order another batch. But I'm going to make sure they're extra large. I'm going to make sure they are roomy polo shirts, okay? Because I do like wearing polo shirts, and I think the logo looks smart on them. But yeah, I don't want to be walking around conventions, like, thinking I'm sweating buckets, or, having to worry about, oh God, I look so bloated, like I'm basically having a baby, as I walk around, because that does tend to be what I think sometimes when I wear those things. I would watch your video review shorts. Your Facebook post got me into some cool stuff, including Blue-Eyed Samurai. Oh, yes. Yeah, the Blue-Eyed Samurai was a very good Netflix series. By all means, go check it out. It's really good if you like anime. Well, I'm not even a big samurai fan, but I enjoyed it. But if you like really good animation, oh man, it looks gorgeous. But and I like the protagonist. I think the character with the orange glasses or something, I think that just looks cool. Such a good look. But yeah, maybe I will do some YouTube shorts on movies and stuff, because YouTube shorts are quick. You just do them, you just record them on your phone, and that's it. I don't need to do weird Instagram story nonsense with it. It'd be all right. Bring the polos back. What, are you saying that I might actually not be single for too long if I wear more polos? Right, I'll take your advice on that. Never understood why air conditioning is much of a thing. It is in office buildings, but it's not hot enough in this country, or it hasn't been hot enough in this country to warrant putting air conditioning in houses. Plus, it's probably more expensive. But now that climate change has basically said, right, the whole planet is going to be a toasty oven now, we could do with the air conditioning, we just don't have it, which is really annoying. No, we are not having a broken token mankini. That is not happening. Quiet, James. Quiet, James, we're not having a main key. Hang on, both of you thought that at the same time? You might want to get checked out, you two. You might want to get checked out. A German board game channel I follow is showing a short explanation and text at the bottom of the video when they mention a specific board game related term. That's not a bad idea. It would certainly increase my editing time, and I probably would have to do it far too often unless I saved them in a folder and then just took them out whenever I needed them, but that's not a bad idea. I don't know. I have to think about that, but I'm wondering if that would just increase my editing time too much, but I'm going to give that guy props. That's a good idea. Get the logo tattooed on your chest. I will pathologically refuse to get a tattoo. I am not having a tattoo anywhere. I'm not even a fan of tattoos on other people. I mean, it's like, you know, I don't mind a tattoo where somebody does like a little butterfly on their lower back or does like a little message on their arm, you know, something nice, small and discreet with some sentimental meaning. When you get some people who literally do themselves up like a really dodgy paint by numbers gone bad, it's that I just go, bleh, you know, it doesn't look attractive to me. What do we got? Some extra things for Blue Eye Samurai is incredibly good. Although there's a different series I'm going to watch after this stream is done, which I have definitely been looking forward to. So, hire an editor. Do you honestly think I made a money? God blimey, this is my hobby on the side. I've got a day job to pay my bills. This certainly doesn't. I am paint by numbers gone bad. All right, fair enough, Hans. You know, but as I say, it's to be fair, I'm not trying to date you, so it's not such a bad thing. But yeah, I do know some people that have gone mad with it. Like half of their face is like all of this face here, and all of this is just one great big tattoo, and it's just like, what possesses people to go that mad? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. What are we on? That was the 7th, so we got 3 more to do. Okay, right. Okay, so let's see. We have... yes, this one. Oh boy. Did you remember I teased at the start about a video that I took down and wish I hadn't? Well, this is the one. Because I almost never take a video down, and I'm not even certain if I have in the past. If I have, then I don't remember doing it. But this one I did take down, and I wish to God I hadn't, because it was for a game that I thought was terrible. I mean, there are games I think are 1 out of 10 for me. This game I think was the lowest ranked game that I ever reviewed on the channel. I've not actually reviewed a game and given something a 1. I just have some games that I detest and would give a 1. But this one I gave a 2 on the show, okay? It was a review copy. I wasn't certain if I would like it or not, but I accepted their offer of a review copy. You know, I'll give my honest opinions. I'll try it out. But I did have some like, okay, this does seem a little bit weird, but some people like it. Maybe I'll like it. The theme seemed alright. And yeah, why don't I put it back up again? Because I don't know if I want to put up with the backlash again, because the reason I took it down was because I got so much backlash, not just from the designer, but also from the 20 fans of the game or something who came at me with pitchforks trying to, you know, make my life a misery with their trolling. And I just don't know if I want to put up with that. But also the game in question just isn't worth it, because honestly, who gives a monkey's toss about Superclub? Yeah. Does anybody really care? Superclub was basically a video I did, so I had to sit through and play this game multiple times, you know, and that already was a challenge in itself, because it's not a short game, and it's basically just roll and luck and stuff like that. I mean, this was just like, I don't know. But Superclub is basically, and I like Ashley's reaction, yeah, it's like, you know, lol, what is that? Yes, Superclub is just a game, I mean, ranked 4,605, so that's not even one of the lowest games that there is, and I'm quite surprised by that. But I've heard of this New Earth. Yeah, I've not played it. I'm probably certain it is worth a 1 or a 2, but I've heard some really bad stuff about that, but thankfully I escaped from that. This one, on the other hand, I didn't. Superclub, oh god. And I don't care what guise you put it in, this was terrible. I mean, you were basically managing a football managing team. So you were managing a football team. And I thought, okay, I'm not the biggest fan of football, but managing a team I could go with. You know, I even tried the Portal one, whatever they called, 11. had some mechanical issues, but I thought the theme was fine, and it had promise, but it just wasn't executed well enough. This game, though, is a luck fest. Most stuff you do is either luck of the draw or rolling dice. All your matches are determined by dice rolling against opponents. You know, the cards that you get, I mean, I'm trying to remember what it was. Like, I can't even remember a lot of the mechanics in it. I mean, you get these different, like, players or something, and yeah, you were getting players, but it was random as to whether the players were any good or not. I mean, they've got these star ratings, but, you know, whether you get good ones or not is entirely random based. I'm trying to think what else you had to do. Honestly, I can't remember a lot of this game because it would just, I wanted to blot it out of my mind. You know, what have you got here? So the game is divided in off-season and season. In off-season, you go through finance, develop talent, scout for the next stars, invest in bigger facilities and key staff. Right, if you thought the stuff that you did in 11 was bare bones and didn't have much to do with it, times that by 10 and you get this. It literally is just a couple of cards or something that you can buy, and then you buy them, and then that's it, and it might give you a little bonus. That's it. I mean, they really don't have it. It really doesn't care. And yeah, this looks bad, and I particularly like, yeah, please take it off the screen. I'll take it off the screen eventually, but I've got to illustrate my point. And then when the season starts, you choose a strategy against your opponents. No, you don't. You don't choose a strategy. There is no strategy in this game. You play matches with your manager, folders, and dices. You will challenge injuries and draw both positive and negative game changer cards. These positive and negative game changer cards are game changers, and they're positive and negative, and they are entirely random. Yeah, seriously. And there are two ways to crown: reach 100 points or win 3 seasons in a row. You will pretty much never win 3 seasons in a row. So this is something where you have to get to 100 points, and you don't earn a lot per season. So you are playing this game for a long time. Look at the time frame on here, 90 to 240 minutes. You can play this game, and I know this from experience, for over 3 hours. You know, that is a 4-hour time limit there. I've not hit 4, but I've hit over 3. This game was torture. I'm not even certain why I gave it a 1. I think maybe because the theme got me an extra point. I don't know, but this was just ultimately terrible. So there you go. It's off the screen. But yeah, when I did this video, you know, besides already hating to play the game, because there are games I've played and disliked, but I don't necessarily regret the fact that I tried them out. This one I did, but when I put the review up and gave it a 2 out of 10, I really ranted on it. And I might have the video still, I don't know. I archive my videos over time, so a year's videos get deleted off my hard drive because I've only got so much storage space. But I'd have to double check if Superclub still exists in my archive folder. If it does, maybe I'll put it back up, I don't know. But again, it's just, nobody cares about this game. A lot of people don't know about it. There are some die-hard fans of it who literally trolled me to death with the Backlash for giving us a 2 out of 10, telling me I was like completely wrong. How can you not see the brilliance of this roll lucky game that takes 4 hours? I mean, this is a game that was designed, when was it designed? Like 2020. Was it 2020? Yeah, 2020 this game came out. It's a game with mechanics from the 1970s. It's that outdated. And they were people willing to take me down for that. Even the designer thought I was being unfair to the game and wrote me a big email to say why I was wrong. Now, granted, he did have a point with one thing. There was a rule I got wrong, which is another reason I didn't necessarily want to upload the video, where I did explain it wrong on the video. Fair enough, if I make a rules error, then fine. But it wasn't a game-changing issue, and certainly it didn't alleviate the rest of the game. But this guy clearly thought that I was going to be like the sort of person to give this a positive review, gave me the review copy, and then found out I talk honestly about my games, and then found out, yeah. And I've watched some reviews I've seen for this. I mean, notice there's no Dice Tower review, no, bigger, no Shut Up and Sit Down review, no, big Board Game Co review, no, other big channel review. So why do you think that is? The only reviews you see are very small channels that I've never heard of. Like literally they've got 10 videos and 100 views and that's it. And these people are going goo goo gaga for this game. They are saying like, oh, this is so fan, love it. I get into the theme. I'm always having fun chucking dice and buying my players. And yeah, this is a 9 out of 10 for me. And I'm like, you are either on drugs or you are seriously one hell of a sycophant for this game and you want more review copies, because this is... You watch some of them, and the whole backlash that there is lately with too much positivity in reviews, not enough negativity, in this massive thing that's blown up lately, causing the civil war, as I said on my last podcast. You know, watch some of these Superclub reviews. They are the pinnacle of, you are clearly giving too much positivity for this game. I mean, they were really bad. Yeah, but I just don't feel like putting it up. The game's not worth it, it's not worth your time, and it's not worth my anxiety issues to put up with the backlash again. So if it is on my PC somewhere, I don't care. You know, it just wasn't worth it, and this was a waste of time. What do we got? These restoration games could come along and actually do something, although, man, they would have to really revamp the game and change it entirely to make it worthwhile. The New Earth version of football. Both games are terrible, but New Earth had other problems. Oh god, that is far too long. Oh god, yes, it is far too long. Is highly rated. Yeah, rated by some very easily impressed people, I will say. What have we got? I wouldn't have even finished it. Yep, that's fine. I'm like Kabuki Kid. You can't get me to watch real football. You know, I feel the way Luke feels about Doom with soccer. Boring. I don't watch football. I mean, I take an interest in how women's football are doing. Like when they did, our British team did really well in the Euros or World Cup or something like recently, and I was at least following that. You know, not watching the matches, but because I think our men's Premiership football is a garbage waste of time and just full of a bunch of drama queens who do everything in their power to dive at a moment's notice while karate kicking people in the face. You know, yes, I've seen some dodgy stuff in men's Premiership football. Women's football, actually, they just seem to play it, enjoy it, and just play the wretched game for what it is. And so I give more props to the women's football, but I still don't watch it. I just sort of go, oh, they're in the finals. Oh, sweet. Good on them, you know, that sort of level. But yeah, I couldn't watch a match for it. Maybe it's time to give it another try. Maybe a live stream with Tom and Paul. Oh, God blimey. I don't know about Tom. I could see Paul busting a gasket over playing Superclub. I can't imagine he would survive. I think he would implode. Don't put it back up, not worth the effort or time. That's pretty much how I feel. Yeah, I'm not saying 90s, 70s games can't be fun, but I'm just talking that these are mechanics which you know wouldn't fly in modern day times. You know, we've come so far since the 70s, and you think this game is going to suddenly be it. It's like, no. And the game wasn't cheap, it cost like £50. It was like £50 or something to buy. This was, come on, picture, show up. You know, a couple of really basic folders and stuff. Yeah, come on. Why is my screen white? I gotta, like, it seems to, like, have trouble showing the photos now and again. All right, here we go. So, yeah. So, I don't know that goes. So, you get a couple of these little binder things, right? You've got basic pawns. The green sheet, I don't know what that is. These cups are not in the game, so don't worry that. So, these are the cards. So, this is the level of art you have. Why somebody would sleeve this game, I have no idea, because the cards aren't worth the quality. Miniatures not included, nor dice trays. Basic dice. This is more what the game looks like. These cards. Some of these use their own clay chips from brass. They're not included in the game. You've got these little markers and these very basic color cards, right? And this game costs £50. Sorry, no, no. Found out I talk honestly about my games. What are you saying? That people don't know what you do before they ask for reviews. You'd be surprised. I mean, I mentioned earlier that a bunch of people email me out of the blue just to say, Luke, you want to talk about my game and give it a good rating? It's on Kickstarter in 2 weeks. This will be the perfect thing for your audience. And it blatantly won't be. And if they knew what I did for a content channel, they would actually realize this. But no, occasionally I do get the odd channel saying, we've got a game, we're giving out review copies. Are you interested? And it's just like, are you sure you want to talk to me about this game? It's not as often with review copies, but certainly with Kickstarter stuff. Oh man, the amount of people who haven't watched anything. I gave it a 10 to counter the ones. Don't do that. I hate the fact that that's been a thing lately. Hey, all aboard gamer. Brandon, how you doing, eh? So I'm lagging behind in the video, but eagerly watching Hold the Line. So, yeah, I mean, this video's gone on longer than I thought, but these do lend themselves to a lot more conversation than I thought, especially when I don't have to do too much on the screen to juggle this around. I can just talk, which is hopefully interesting for people. Revenge for Wimbledon. I did watch the Wimbledon final and I did watch the gold medal final. I did remember watching that in thing, but that's about. Although I would rather watch tennis than football. Tennis at least is exciting. Just caught up with your live. Great idea for a talk. Appreciate your honesty and talking about your own moves. You see as mistakes, even more interesting. Hey, thanks. And as I say, I'm not infallible, nor is my channel. It's interesting to reflect on some of these. And I like your reviews, even if we don't share the same tastes. That's the main thing. If you enjoy it, then good. We don't have to have the same tastes. I mean, have you seen the top 10 lists I've done in the past with, he's a good bloke, Mindfuck, chairman of the board. Yeah, Dan from chairman of the board. If you've seen a couple of the top 10s I've done with him, we have polar opposite tastes. I mean, he is a Stefan Feld fan. He will play all the driest of Euro games and love them to bits. We are real opposites in terms of taste. But we've had some interesting top 10s in the past where clearly our two lists are fundamentally different because our tastes are that different. So they make for some interesting discussions, on those ones. What do we got? Most channels don't review games. They think they are bad. Talking about you, Rado. There's a few channels I can think of, not just, there's a few channels I can think of where I have been put off them because I do think it's too much positivity or too much sucking up to some people. What have we got? I have lots of regrets. Unboxings are horrible. Thankfully, I've not really done any unboxings, so they're not on this list. But yes, unboxings I would not want to do. Accessories, yep, my Accessorize were bad. Slick mechanisms, box car reviews. Oh yeah, you did used to do a box car review thing. That died out. Game spotting I could go on. That's why it's all changing. That's the same. Channels evolve. So, do. When are we taking down Mark Dainty over his dislike of viticulture? Oh man, yeah. We had a bit of a tiff on Facebook recently or something, and Shane came into the chat saying, it's like, I think we were talking about viticulture, and it's like, well, he's wrong about this, and it's like, yeah, he is wrong about viticulture, and it's like, well, when do we get to take him down over it? It's like, I don't know, we'll have to, catch him at some point. Okay, right, so let's move on. We've got 2 more to get through, so what are we up to? 9. Alright, I'm out of chamomile tea, so we'll worry about that current squash. Throat's not doing too bad, though, at the moment. Pretty good. Right, okay, so my 9th one I want to talk about. Let's see, it is... yes. Should I do another one first? Nah, we'll do the other one later. They're not in any order. I only did one video of this. And the reason I didn't like the fact I did this is I really do regret this video. It was a dumb idea. It didn't work. It was a lot of editing. It was a lot of painful stuff to do. And actually, tell a lie, I did do 1 or 2 videos of this. I've done ones to do with Golden Geek Awards and that in the past, where I've sort of reacted to those. But yes, I'm talking about when I tried to chase a fad. I tried to chase a fad where, let's see, hang on, I need to find the actual video, but I'll talk about it on this banner. Reaction to Keep or Cull chasing a stupid fad. There was basically, oh, hello, Hexy Beast. Hey, how you doing? Basically, I did a video in reaction to one of Board Game Rambling's videos. I've done some reactions to awards, which are fine. They're different. I did one video for them, but mainly they were a podcast thing. So that's all fine. But I tried to get in on this fad where basically I'm trying to find out where the hell I did it. I can't find the video. I know I did this video. Where the hell is it? But I don't know. I'll keep trying to find it. But essentially, it was where I took a Keep or Cull video or top 10 list or something like that, like a top 40 list from Board Gaming Ramblings, and then I tried to do a reaction video to it. So this thing that goes on with trailer reactions where they watch something and then they talk in reaction to that? Personally, I think they're all dumb. I think trailer reactions are a stupid idea in videos, but apparently loads of people watch them. And I tried to think, well, you know what? Maybe we could apply this to board gaming. Maybe I could look at somebody else's top 10 list, somebody else's thing, and then react to their choices. Not just the video, but just the choices, or say, I like this choice, I don't like this choice, and give my reactions to this. I only did it once, for Board Gaming Ramblings, and I haven't done it again. And with good reason. Because, oh man, it was a dumb idea. Here we go. Here's the actual video. There we go. So, yeah, reactions to Board Game Keep or Cull. Now, they were fine with it. They didn't have a problem with the video or anything, but it's just, I thought this could be something interesting. I could, give my viewpoints on what choices other people have made for top 10 lists. And I was trying to get in on the fad, thinking, oh yeah, this will be fun. This will get a lot of views and engagement. It could even be some good comedy, because occasionally Dice Tower did the odd reaction video where, they would do a top 10 list where they were basically dissing Z Garcia's games or Tom Vassal's games, and then Tom and Z would come in and do a reaction video to it. They were okay. I mean, Tom Vassal's reactions were fine. They had a good laugh. Z Garcia's reaction video was hilarious, but that's because he played it up more for comedy, and Z Garcia is a bit of a comedy genius. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that his reaction video was actually hilarious to watch. My one, though, was kind of meh. Like, it really wasn't anything but. I mean, what did I have? I had a weird intro thing as well. So, actually, I kind of liked the intro. I mean, the intro wasn't too bad. It was kind of weird. But basically, yeah, I went through and just basically had my headset on. I mean, when did I do this? This was 2000. This is 2 years ago. So was this in 2021? Was it? God blimey, I got a massive beard there. Why did I? That must have been a time when I hadn't shaved. It must have been a really late shave. It must have been around there. And I mean, it got 100 likes, but only 2,000 people watched it, so it certainly wasn't a big hit. But man, this video was 40 minutes long, and I had to trim it down like crazy. And I mean, Board Gaming Ramblings, I like these two. They're good fun. They're good fun to be with, and that we do have some very different game tastes. By far, particularly with. With Johannes there, I think Johannes and I really do differ on a lot of games. I think I'm more in line with Sunniva. I think Sunniva and I have more closer game taste, but even then there are a few where I'm like, you like this game, really? But then that was kind of half the point of this video. It was just meant to be a laugh. Now, I didn't really get any backlash to it, not like the Superclub one, but it just, I don't know, some people weren't a fan of it, but it didn't really get much fandom either. So it was a lot of effort. And after a while, I did the one video and I thought, yeah, all that preparation for it, all that time, all that editing, it's like, nobody's watching it. And was this, it was a fad that works for movie trailers. It doesn't work for the board gaming industry. So this one was one that died a very quick death. Tested the waters, found out it was stupid, dumb idea, got rid of it. And so that was definitely one that was just not worth it for me. So yeah, not a lot of comments on that one. Interesting. I don't wonder if that's because everyone's left, but certainly the number of people has died down, which tends to happen when you get to an hour and a half into a live stream. But yeah, so it was just basically like, not a good idea. So not much reaction to this. I guess we can just move on, switch off that banner and move on to the last one. So here we go, number 10. Okay, right, so this one isn't much of a massive reveal. We just agree with you. Fair enough. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a dumb idea. So if everybody else agreed it was a dumb idea, then fine. I've got nothing else to lose on that one. But yeah, so this one isn't a massive like shock horror reveal. It's, as I say, I didn't put these in any order. If I was putting them in order of ranking, then maybe something like Superclub would have been at number 1. Maybe the Reaction Keep or Cull one. But this one is just a normal one. But this is a whole series I did. I mean, I did loads of these videos, and they were just basically a type of review. The problem is, I had an objective with the review I was doing, and I basically tried to do it because there was a period of time when people were going, oh, these reviews are too long, he's talking for 25 minutes, I've only got the attention span of a goldfish and therefore can't watch anything that's not 3 minutes. Yeah, that channel. But, so it's kind of like, I thought, okay, I need to trim these down and make them quicker, right? I need to make them quicker videos, get the reviews done nice and fast, and therefore, we could do it. But then how do I do it shorter? I mean, I can try and talk for less time about the game, but if you want to get all the important points across, it's very difficult to do that. So I thought, okay, we won't have all the editing stuff. You know, I need to just speed these in terms of editing time. So we won't have video clips, we won't have the music, we won't have other bits and bobs. And it's like, but those are the things I like about my videos, especially the video clips. You know, the little gags and the little references I put into movies and culture and stuff. And it's like, I like those. But, you know, this series that I tried to do just didn't work. And it was basically the Blitz Express review format. It made no difference because I tried to do this series where I basically said, you know what, I'm going to, make these reviews shorter. Okay, so they'll be nice and quick. They'll be about small games. The videos won't take that long. Well, why don't we have a look at some of those so-called shorter videos, shall we? Let's see, Alice's Garden, which people really still need to get on that bandwagon. 18 minutes and a half. 15 and a half minutes. 12 and a half, not bad, but that was for a flipping right. 16 and a half, 17 and a half, 16 and a half, 16 and a half, 12 and a half, that was for a book of escape room games. How much can you really talk about that? Cascadia, 1358, 1311, and, you know, ignore the bottom one, that's just the title. But yeah, so the Express ones were still a good 17 minutes long. I mean, I wanted these to be shorter because I was doing a lot of 20-something minutes. But yeah, they didn't exactly, they didn't exactly go much faster than they were meant to. Now, if I type in the keyword Blitz, because I think I was doing Express at one point, and then suddenly I changed it to Blitz for some bizarre reason. So we've got 15 videos here. So, okay, so how long do these 15 ones take? Okay, so 15 and a half minutes, 14 and a half, 18, 24, 11 minutes, 8 minutes. Okay, that was a pretty, that was Duyana or whatever. Dunaya, Blitz, Dunaia. Does anybody remember that game? No, it wasn't worth it. Streets, Call the Miracles, but we got 1542, 1231, 808, but that was for the Ticket to Ride 15th anniversary. How much do you need to say? 1328, 1139. So they were shorter, but they weren't necessarily short enough, and they still took a bit of time to edit. Yes, less time than my reviews do at the moment, but they still took time. So why did I bother with this format? The format just didn't seem to make any difference, and that was back then. These days, actually, the fact is that more people are actually more receptive to things taking longer. So, I mean, like I say, Max says, we love the video clips. So great, you know, what's that? Don't speak badly of 3 minute. I'm not speaking badly of 3-minute board games, but what I mean is that the reason that channel does really well is because the attention span of a lot of people wants short, quick snippet videos. They want short like overviews, and he does a good job at doing those ones. So that's why that channel works. But so I come to YouTube because I prefer longer videos. I think a review should be as long as it takes for you to express your thoughts. Shorts are not fun. I mean, YouTube shorts for the film stuff I might still consider, but yeah, I'm not going to do shorts for board game stuff. No, shorts for board game stuff I'm not doing, but maybe for like, I watched this movie, here's my 1 minute preamble on the movie, and then you can watch it if you're interested or not. People that complain about something that lasted too long should learn patience. It's people who are like that are ruining baseball. Okay, fair enough. I can't speak for everybody, but when I watch a review, I want a detailed one because I'm looking for as much information as I can. And this, I think, has changed in the consumer basis in the industry, because back then it didn't seem that way. I was seeing channels do short reviews and getting a ton of views and engagement. And I figured maybe I am taking too long on some of these, even though I am going through all the pros and cons and stuff. So I tried to make them quicker. Plus, I was also taking on a lot of games, and I probably shouldn't have taken on some of those games. I mean, I'm definitely a bit more picky now as to how many games I have on the go at a time. Difficult when it gets around to SM, but I'm trying not to be a yes man to every game that can be reviewed. And of course, the podcasts are a good way for me to get rid of some of those games. I mean, I did Dr. Finn's games recently, Alpacaris and Fisheries of Gloucester. I did them on the podcast. 2 games dealt with in a podcast episode. So I have a means to do some of these blitzy reviews nice and quick on that show. So I don't need to do a weird Blitz and Express variant. And I tried to call the normal ones detailed reviews, like a detail review. I used it as a template thing. And I don't know, calling something detailed just seemed weird. I used the acronym to say D for duration, T for tactics and strategy, and that worked up to a point, but trying to stick to an acronym, I think, is just a bit of a, what's the word? Not stereotype, a trope. It just felt like too much of a trope trying to stick to an acronym. So eventually I got rid of this format and I just said, look, my reviews are like this. So over the last year, probably year and a half, the review format you've been seeing with that title screen, the good bits and bad bits, and summary at the end is my review format. Doesn't matter what the game is. The game is that this is the format I'm doing for the reviews, and if the review takes 10 minutes because it's a short game, it takes 10 minutes. If it takes 20 minutes, it takes 20 minutes. If, like my September review coming out this weekend, it takes 35 minutes, it takes 35 minutes. I'm not shying away from making a video long anymore. It's about, I mean, come on, these live streams take 2 hours a piece. If you can get through a 2-hour live stream, even if you're just listening to it in the background while you're doing your work, then you can muster a 30-minute video, can't you? You know, I watch a bunch of stuff like Nostalgia Critic and Angry Joe reviews and stuff. Angry Joe reviews can take an hour sometimes. I'm still watching the whole video. Nostalgia Critic, he's made a lot of his stuff shorter lately because of like his setup of where he works and that. But yeah, Nostalgia Critic was doing some lengthy videos now and again, like the top 11 videos were still half an hour long. I'll watch half an hour. What's wrong with half an hour? It's not that big a deal. I can think of worse stuff to do. But yeah, it's just a video, you know, I regret trying to do it in that weird format. I think it just confused a lot of people, particularly when the time lengths didn't match the fact that it was meant to be express. So it was kind of lying to itself. I mean, actually, yeah, shock horror. I basically did what I hate publishers doing on their board games with the whole line about the time length of games. I basically did it myself in my own channel. Ugh. Yeah, that is a bit of a regret and a half. So certainly wasn't a fan of that. Where are we at? If you want it shorter, you can speed up the playback tempo. That is true. I mean, I don't know, I dread to think what I sound like if I'm played at high speed. I mean, a Somerset accent played at high speed, that just sounds weird. We got there. So, yeah, what really helps is timestamps. I didn't used to do timestamps. Now I always do timestamps. I hate it when people don't do timestamps, but I think because YouTube has also got better in that they put the chapters at the bottom of the screen so you can see clearly when the next chapter's starting. Brilliant. I have seen some channels outside of board gaming and that do really overzealous things where they put like little animations with the timestamps and that. That's going a little bit too far, but they tend to be the techie channels that do that. But yeah, I always put timestamps. I mean, I've got timestamps for this. I've been writing these down as I've been doing this thing. So I know when I edit this in a minute to make certain it's ready for that I can just literally slot these timestamps in so people can follow where I've been talking about stuff. And so if the video's long, use a timestamp. How hard can it be? Details and more info are great in reviews. I agree with Ashley. Exactly, Max. Yep. No, I want to spend 3 minutes on a game I know nothing about. I want to watch a detailed review after I'm already interested. There's the difference. Fair play. Yeah, fair play. Good argument. That actually makes sense. I've been turning down previews and prototypes lately and basically accepting retail. It stops my review backlog building up. Yeah, I know the feeling. Short or long, I don't care as long as it's balanced. Some recent Kickstarter reviews I watched were more sales pitch than anything remotely critical. Check out one of my earlier points where I talk about my Kickstarter series about that. But yes, Kickstarter reviews are just adverts. That's all previews are. It's why I don't want to do a lot of them anymore. So, you know, if you see like a big hot game come out from, I'm not going to name names, but you know, if you see them come out and it's a preview, then I can't watch the video because I'm just getting an advert. I might as well just read about it on Board Game Geek. It'll give you the same amount of useful information, but then I won't have somebody trying to sell it to me like a car salesman. So it doesn't work for me on that. For me, an overview of the game is more important to me than reviewers' opinions, and when videos have no overview or micro overview, I tend not to prefer that. Out of the people I've had on feedback, that tends to be a minority view, but, you know, I do try to do the overviews now, but overviews used to take up so much time. I used to do a montage overview where I had like, scale pictures and all the slidey stuff around. It looked more professional, but man, did it take me ages to edit the overview in these videos. And a lot of people just came back and said they didn't really care. They skipped the overview anyway. I always skip the overview in the Dice Tower things. I don't need to know the mechanics. I can read that off Board Game Geek. I need to know the opinions. So I always skip the overview in every video I watch. But I know some people, as you've said, like an overview, so I now do an overview in my video. I just make it a quick overview and don't go into too much detail. And on the flip side of that, if I know how a game plays, I can buzz past it. Exactly, you basically just reiterated my point. Fair enough. Main thing to remember, it's your channel and I should do whatever I like. Fair play. But people that complain should go elsewhere. I know, but I do want more people to watch the channel, so I don't want everybody to go away, just the trolls. Just make the stuff you want to make. I second this. Thank you, everybody. What have we got? Hello, Oleg. How you doing? I routinely listen to you on 1.5 2x speed. Actually, I wonder. Hang on, a little bit of a treat because we're at the point now. Hang on, I'm going to actually write down the timestamp for this. We are at 1:44:48, and we are done talking about the Blitz Express thing. So let's actually test this little theory out, actually, because, I mean, I've got, you know, we can make this a 2-hour stream. We can do a little bit of a Q&A. So if you want to throw in some Q&A questions in the chat or something, I'll answer them and make them about behind-the-scenes stuff. You know, we'll keep the theme of this. But let's go watch recent videos. Let's go watch, I'm just going to load up recent one. Let's go load up that shipwrights review. Okay, so load it on there. Okay, fine. Whoop.
To remember you. To get you future bonuses.
Right, okay, right, so that was my... Oh, hang on, I haven't actually put it on the screen yet, that might help. So, yeah, okay, so this is my Shipwrights of the North Sea Redux review, so I've just recently put this up. Now, can I set the speed here? Let's see, autoplay, subtitles, how do I set the speed? Loop, stats for nerds. How do I change it? Somebody tell me how I speed up the clip. I think I might need, because I've never really done this on other channels. Can somebody just quickly stick in the comment how I like change the speed? Because I need to. I mean, 0.5 speed. Good. I wouldn't want to listen to myself too slow. Go to your settings. Here we go. Playback speed. So okay, so we can go up to. So let's look at 1.5 then. So 1.5. How do I sound in 1.5?
Towards you to get you future bonuses, effectively raiding. Higher up on the blue track, you can get trade cards, which get you more income during the income phase of a round, so these get you more resources and cool bonuses. And thirdly, you can upgrade your starting buildings where you have a big...
Okay, fair enough. That doesn't sound too bad in 1.5. At least I kind of see... at least I can still make out what I'm saying. But yeah, I am talking at fast speed. Fair enough. You listen to me in 1.5, then fair enough. Oh, blimey. I mean, what does that make 2x? 2x speed. Oh, boy.
If both you have a basic labor and a basic hut, they are sort of skin based, then if you level up on the yellow track, you can improve their normal abilities. But it's also not just a case of, oh, what can I do with 6 cards? You also have round cards that are specific to...
Does anybody remember the Micro Machines guy from the adverts? God, I'm one step away from him. I've used his clip on some of my videos. The Micro Machines guy who's basically like an advertiser's wet dream, because he can basically tell you everything about a product in about 30 seconds because he talks at hyperspeed. But yeah, I certainly did find that's probably a little bit too fast. Although 0.5 is better. Oh yeah, good blimey, yeah, because some people use the captions. Hang on a minute. Let's go back to that. All right, settings, playback speed, 0.5. I'm going to go down to 0.25. That seems a little ridiculous. But all right, 0.5. All right, let's go to summary verdict and look at this.
So your engine is good as you can make it, and as much as this game is about adapting.
I'm pretty sure I'm summoning the devil at that point. Wow. I am, as Kabuki says, I sound a bit drunk, but I'm pretty sure the devil has been summoned at that point. He's somewhere in the house, and I'm going to have to banish him at some stage. Oh, blimey. Yeah, I could not watch anybody at slow speed. I mean, I could watch some people at 1.5. I think 1.5 was kind of fine. You know, I could go with that. That seemed fine, but I don't know, that just seemed like a bit of a weird little giggle there just to find out what I sound like in those speeds. Okay, what do we got? Let's go back. Stick to your essence regardless of the consequences. You'll notice I've actually taken that down on my recent 2 videos. Actually, you haven't seen both. I've done it on Shipwrights. I've also done it on September. The intro, where I come in and say, "Hi, I'm Luke from the Broken Meeple. I give honest opinions regardless of the consequences." I actually don't do that anymore. You know, I'm trying to come up with a new one. I don't have a catchphrase to say at the start of the video, because the whole "remember it's only a game" kind of works better at the end of the video. But I need to come up with either a standardized intro again, or just don't do one and just say, "Hi, I'm Luke, thanks for joining me," or something. But I've taken it down because when Board Game Code did his recent video about honest reviews, I went through his comments and there was a fair few people slagging me off in there behind my back. And I'm going to say trolls will come from everywhere, but they kept going on about the intro I did on my videos where I say honest opinions regardless of the consequences, and they were taking the mick out of that. Now, granted, I don't normally listen to trolls. You know, trolls have just got, you know, a hatred for me, whatever. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, yeah, maybe if I don't desperately need that intro, it's not really explaining anything different, and if it is annoying people, then yeah, why not just take it out? Think of something better to put in the intro. But that's why it's not been in the last video and why you won't see it in the September one. So now, that's not to say I'm ignoring the regardless of the consequences thing, but maybe that's a little bit too ham-fisted on the nose. I mean, people who watch my channel know that I'm doing honest reviews regardless of the consequences. They don't need me to remind them every video. So we'll see. Let's see. I never liked Z doing his target review format. Too often he was forced to discuss a category that didn't fit. Yeah, that is the thing with acronyms. I did find that. You know, I've got to talk about immersion because I in detail is immersion, and I'm talking about a dry Euro. Well, how the hell do I talk about immersion? So it did have that problem. The people that appreciate that will come and stay. Thank you very much. And thank you, James, as well. Oh, guys, this is nice. Rather says he watches everything online at high speeds. He even uses a plugin so he can watch it at free time. 3x just sounds insane. That sounds way too much. I won't watch channels that focus on Kickstarter stuff. It should be a minor part or none. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch Kickstarter channels myself. And then everybody helping me to do the thing. And what was that? The man who fell to earth, trying to absorb as much info as quickly as possible. Yeah, that sounds about right. Micro Machines guy, was it also the FedEx guy? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the FedEx guy's another one. 2x is too fast. How can you comprehend all the details? You can't. I was watching my own review there and I wasn't able to absorb all that information. 2x was just a bit mad. But yeah, certainly a few interesting reactions to the 0.5. Yeah, that was a little bit. Board Game Co is a 0.5er. I don't know. I feel like he probably needs to be sped up, actually. But, well, wow, new intro. I mean, it's not like a massive deal, but it's just rather than having that constant, "Hi, I'm Luke," you know, regardless of the consequences, I've got that, "Hi, my name is Luke and Dune is overrated." Like, I'm God blimey. I could see my subscriber count going way down if I did that. That would just basically kill me. "Hi, I'm Luke Hector and you're not." That sounds a little pretentious on my part, but I don't know, really. I mean, I've seen some great catchphrases. I mentioned Nostalgia Critic before, and for his entire length, he has done, "Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to." Such a great catchphrase, and it never has died. He still uses it to this day. But "remember it's only a game" works at the end of the video. It doesn't make sense for me to go, "Hi, I'm Luke from the Broken Meeple. Remember it's only a game." I don't know. It doesn't really make sense at the start, but maybe, I don't know. You tell me. You know, if I find a decent catchphrase that somebody can wow me to, I'll give them credit. Do you ever have to say, "Remember it's only a game" to people you play with in person? Now and again. When usually not because they dislike a game I've shown them, but usually when we're talking about opinions for the game. Like, people will ask me, you know, "What do you think of this game? What do you think of this game?" And, you know, sometimes they can get into quite heated discussions. I'll mention the "remember it's only a game." I probably won't necessarily use the exact phrasing, but I have gone to that sort of gist. But then, you know, some people will give me horror stories about where they've had somebody play a game and it's like they've taken it too seriously, they've alpha played, they've made life like horrible for other people at the table. And usually my reaction will be to that being like, "Come on, guys, it's only a game." And this is coming from somebody who was the massive sore loser in his childhood. So, I've learned from it. Other people need to as well. Because I certainly do. I'm curious about what examples you've had of that, actually. What have we got? Doesn't annoy me. I like the intro. That's not annoying. That's a statement. Yes, you do not need to tell that. Just stick to it. Yeah, that's fair enough. We got... I really feel like I am in Burgundy. What? Is that from? Building castles and mines has never felt so immersive. What are we doing? I'm not sure where this is coming from. I've lost the plot there. I do like the... Yeah, I use the get on with it. I use the memes because the memes and the video clips... when I started off doing those clips, I had to think of, well, how do I differentiate this channel from the other millions that are out there? Nobody else does this. I'm not aware of another channel that does these clips. I think I'm the unique one in that. And so I don't want to stop it because it gives me a good laugh when I do it. It breaks up the video. It makes it a bit more entertaining, I hope. And there are some funny jokes that do come from it. I mean, sometimes they are just put in because the thing links, in which case it's not that much of a gag. But there are times where I go through my editing and I think, I've said this, oh, that works perfectly with this. I'm going to put that through. And Nostalgia Critic uses, I know I keep bringing up his name, but what can I say? I like the guy. He uses a lot of clips in his, and sometimes they give me a bit of inspiration, or they remind me of clips that I've not heard of before. There's a couple of SpongeBob ones that I only knew because of his channel, and it's like, oh yeah, SpongeBob's done a couple of ones. I might have to watch a few of those clips, and they are good fun in that respect. Where we got? It could be something different every time, like the Simpsons chalkboard gaga. I'd run out of ideas too fast. That's the thing. Get ready for some board game nectar. I'm not saying not that. End with something Latin like semper ludens. What does that mean? I'm not very good with my Latin. All right, so we're on some questions. Wait a minute. I am Luke Hector, and this week I've been mostly eating. What are you trying to say? Cocky. All right. Okay, let's do another 5 minutes of this channel. A couple of questions. I got a question. Do you use AI to prepare your videos? I hear more and more people creating descriptions in ChatGPT or asking for topics or ideas for new videos in those AI chats. Have you tried it? No. AI is a fad. I mean, AI is certainly going to be something we're going to have to deal with soon. I've not even experimented with ChatGPT and all this stuff because it's just not in my interest. I mean, at work... somebody I know at work is obsessed with trying to use AI for some of the stuff we've done. Like, they've used it for dictating and stuff and, getting minutes of meetings. But whenever I've read them, and these are the worst, translation AI and dictation AI, that sort of thing, it's still no good because we had a meeting, just the two of us. We used an AI to take down the minutes and it's incomprehensible garbage. It's still not at a good enough stage. So if it can't do its primary function, then what's the point? But, I don't agree with AI art. I think AI art is not something I'm a fan of. It doesn't look as good and it's taking stuff away from real artists. That's the thing. But, yeah, I'm not going to take... I mean, if I want new ideas for content or new stuff to talk about on the channel, I'm going to ask my Patreons. My Patreons, I'll give them a list of top 10s every now and again and say, which ones do you want to see? Or, I'm running out of ideas for my podcast. Anybody got some questions you want me to answer? That kind of thing. That's why the Patreons are there. So I can ask them for inspiration. But creating descriptions for my content? Nah, that just seems like too much of a faff. Every description is me writing it. I write my own descriptions, not letting some AI do it. If you can't find anyone to play with, it's okay to play with yourself. Is that really his catchphrase? Oh my god. Yeah, that could be interpreted the wrong way. Luke needs a new catchphrase. How about catchphrase? Yes, I have seen Free Guy. That is quite a funny. That is a funny movie. I do like that one. And yeah, well, to be fair, the movie's fine. It's not the most hilarious video in the world, but it's a cool concept. But that whole sequence where he fights his unfinished clone thing, who just basically comes out and says catchphrase. Yeah, that is a really funny bit. I do like that. Where we got? I was replying to your part about describing how immersive a Euro is. Okay, fair enough. You discuss winning a fair bit in your podcast and reviews. How important is it for you to win a game to enjoy the experience? Shouldn't be at all. It shouldn't be at all. I mean, you can feel a little bit bummed out if you tried something and it fails miserably. Like, I come dead last, I'm miles behind, and that can feel a little bit meh. And yeah, you'll get the occasional bit where you've worked hard, you thought you've done well, and then you come second by like a point. I mean, that can hurt, to come second by a point, but it shouldn't affect my enjoyment of the game. I mean, if I don't like Barrage. Somebody mentioned Barrage earlier. I've won games of Barrage. Still hate it. It doesn't matter if I win it or not. And when I was a kid, winning a game was more important because I was a bit of a sore loser. Yeah, sorry family, I just kind of was. And, I'm not proud of it, but these days I'm not. If I lose a game, fine. I lose a game. No big deal. There are a couple of friends where we play on Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that on the Switch. I do get a little bit heated when I play those, but then we're very, very competitive. That's a subgroup. That's different. But, with board games, if I lose it, I lose it. If I might comment that, whether I like certain mechanics and stuff like that in the game, that's me sort of partially reviewing it while I'm playing it, which I need to stop doing. But honestly, if I play a game and I come last, big deal. Let's take a game from here, for example. Marvel Champions. If I lose a game against the AI, fine. If I play automobiles and come last, fine. Pursuit of Happiness. If I come last, fine. I've still taught a hilarious story. Doesn't matter if I come last. So, honestly, it's not important. If the people I'm playing with are fun and the game is fun, that's good enough for my experience. Winning a game where I am sick and tired of the people I'm playing with because they're either boring or they're, massive AP min-maxers, or if they're not very talkative, they're not very sociable, or they're, being quite mean to other players, like they're alpha gaming, or they're trying to be like pretentious and stuff. If there are people I've played with who are, not people I would like to play with again, it doesn't matter if I win the game. I could come first. In fact, I did. I won't name names, but I came first in one game where somebody had come in, they said they were used to the game, they would easily get it, a big heavy euro, and they proceeded to be the most ultimate AP min-maxer available. They didn't take their turn until it got round to them, they weren't thinking at all, and it was an absolute slog. And he was bigging up, saying, I'm really good at these games, I'm good at these Laserders. I creamed him. And I still hated the experience, so it doesn't really make a deal. Those memes tend to be amusing. Glad you say it. And I always love Python. Yeah, Monty Python's always good. In fact, you're going to see a little bit of Monty Python with the Septima review because it's impossible not to do a review of a game about witches without referencing the "We found the witch, may we burn her" sketch. So they'll be in there. Hi there from the US. Thank you, Jade. Thanks for joining us. Oh God, what we got? Can you get demonetized because of the clips? It could happen, and there have been occasions where I've had the clip too long and YouTube copyright has come after me for it. But most of the time, if they've done, it's usually for music. There have been times where I might have had a bit of music in a clip or a track which was licensed, and therefore YouTube copyright comes after me, in which case I change it or just delete it. It's easier to do it that way. Sometimes I get YouTube copyrighted for music that's in my channel that I've already licensed. I license a bunch of my stuff from Motion Array, and yet there are still some of these greedy people out there who try to copyright strike some of my videos for a track that I've already paid for the license. And it's the same one. I've had one company, I forget what the name is, try and attack me something like 20 times in the last few years for the same track. The same track. And I've licensed it for that long, so it is kind of annoying. But no, I don't get demonetized for the video clips because there's a big tip. Firstly, we could do a whole video about the whole fair use policy where you're transforming something. But the thing with clips is that YouTube focuses on it when it's too long. So if you were to show a big clip, like 20 seconds of a clip, it would probably get flagged. And that would be a bit of a problem. But my clips are like, 5 seconds length at the absolute max. And if they're longer, I chop them down. I invert the image. I do whatever to transform it. But most of my clips are very short and very quick. YouTube doesn't pick those up. They're too short. They're not. You couldn't get any useful information out of that little clip as opposed to watching an entire scene. So honestly, no, the clips have not been a problem, providing you keep them short and sweet and, just be careful. That's what you got to do. Sempaludens means always playing gaming. That's a pretty cool catchphrase, although I bet if I used it, I'd get a lot of people asking, what does it mean? How's the throat doing? It's drying up at the moment, but then I have been talking for 2 hours straight. That would dry anybody. But my throat is actually better these days. Talking for an extended period is still going to hurt in a warm room, for 2 hours. But normally I wouldn't, in the past, I wouldn't have been able to do this video at all. I would have just been gone. But my diet for managing the acid reflux has helped. Now, granted, the curry I had before I started this stream probably is having some effect, but then I did take some Gaviscon, so I should be all right. The omeprazole doing a good job. But I think cutting out caffeine, has been the biggest contender. I think having 6-7 cups of caffeine a day was contributing a lot to my acid reflux. Now I'm decaf only, decaf and herbal teas all the way, and barely noticed any acid stuff. I now drink mostly plant milk, soya, almond, coconut, oat. I rarely drink lactose now. I cut down my tomato intake a lot, so I haven't had anywhere near as many curries as I usually did, because I do like curry and chili and stuff. I've tried to not have my food too spicy. I've tried to eat more bananas and almonds and stuff like that, which are generally good for the stomach. So yeah, I've been doing quite a few dietary changes in my lifestyle, and they have made a massive difference. I mean, maybe the pills are doing a good leg of the work as well, but and also in my room, I'm not going to get it now because it would take too long, but I've got one of those, what do they call it? How to do it? Triangle pillows. So I don't know how to sort of do it on the screen. I can't do it, but it's basically a triangle wedge pillow. So it goes on the top of my bed, and basically as I lie down, I'm basically at a slight angle. So my head down to about there is slanted as if I was lying on a cushion on the sofa or something, and then everything else is on the bed as normal. And what that does is it means during the night acid shouldn't be bubbling up my throat, and that seems to have made a difference. So the throat is improving. It will be sore probably tomorrow because I've done this stream, but that's mainly because I've talked for 2 hours, not because of what I've eaten. Don't get on the chat GPT train. In fact, don't put any more questions in the chat. I think we're going to have to wrap this up in a minute. You're a good chap. I remember years ago you teaching me in Chum's Flashpoint, and you're a master with a meeple fire hose. I can try to remember what that was. It's been ages since I played Flashpoint. It's still on my shelf, though. But, thanks, Mike. That means a lot. Glad you enjoyed it. Various stuff about AI art being bad. Yep, definitely. Are you attending any conventions? Very quick. Shape Battle and Roll in Southampton in next week. I'm then... I'm not going to Baycon in April because I'm going to Peak District with the family for my 40th birthday celebration. So that's a thing. So April, no conventions. I'll go to UK Games Expo as normal. I'll go to 1 or 2 of the Handy Cons as normal. Maybe I'll go to Handy Con in April, but if I do, it'll only be for the weekend because I haven't got any holiday up to use up till April. But I'll go to 1 or 2 Handy Cons. I'll go to Essen, GridCon, Paul's GridCon. I always go to that. So, yeah, I'll go to a bunch of conventions. I just can never get to a US one, sadly. Don't you think the AI systems are acting dumb so we don't realise we're in the Matrix? Maybe, who knows? Free guy. I lose games a lot. You don't like AI art, so you will refuse to review or play a game heavily built on AI input. I won't objectively refuse to play the game. That's going a little bit too far. And some people take that stance, and I'm fine with that. But, for example, I reviewed this one here, actually. I can get it off my shelf. This one, Path of Civilization from Essen last year. This one has AI art in it, and they mention it in the rulebook that they use AI art. But what it means is that I can't give them brownie points for good art because it's not their art. It's not somebody's art. Or if it is, it's been hijacked by the AI that does it. Because that's basically what AI art is. It basically just nicks it from other people and gels it together. But I will bring up, if I know the game has got AI art, and I don't always spot it, I will always point out it has AI art, and I certainly won't give it like high marks for aesthetics for using it. But I'm still going to play the game and try it out. I mean, that's, I wouldn't go as far as to not play it, because I could be missing out on a really good game. Do you have anywhere you've posted your current top 100 in a list? No, I haven't. I mean, no, I don't tend to put them up because I don't know where I put the list anyway, and I want people to watch the videos, so they're time-stamped, but I've not put anything up as a list. Kanban EV was in my top 10. Lose or win, it's about the journey and the banter trash talk. Yeah, couldn't agree more. I blame the humans I'm playing with. Some more good stuff there about winning and bad experiences. Do you have a review or board game channel I like to watch? Kind of pick and mix, really. I mean, if it's a game I'm interested in, I'll watch Dice Tower top tens, but even they have been a little bit down lately, because when it used to be Sam Healy trio and Mike Delisio trio, the top tens were fantastic fun to watch, but the top tens lately have been a bit lacking, and so I haven't watched them as much. But I tend to watch top 10 lists on channels because I'm interested to see a mix of games and to get their perspectives. There's not many that I watch like every video they do. It's because I've only got so much time on my hands. It's typically if they've done a video on a game or a top 10 list I'm interested in. And it could be people like Board Game Ramblies, it could be Mark Dainty's Not Board Gaming if he's done a solo review for a game I'm interested in. Paul Grogan does playthroughs for some games I'm interested in. I want to know about them. I certainly do watch smaller channels. I mean, I do not watch, I won't go into details, but for various reasons, I will not watch It Played. I don't tend to watch Rado's stuff. I don't tend to watch any other big channels. I never really watched Shut Up and Sit Down. I don't watch No Pun Included. I don't watch Finger Femur. I mean, there's a bunch of channels I don't tend to watch for various reasons, but mainly I just like to watch the small channels. Small channel, barely any views. I want to watch them. I want to give them a bit of support, and so I just tend to focus more on them. But it is generally more, are they reviewing something I'm interested in which case I'll watch it. I don't tend to watch a review for a game that I don't care about. Somebody has reviewed Barrage, could not care less. It's that kind of thing. See you later, Ashley. Thanks for watching for this long. I think need to wrap this up. So 6-7 cups of coffee. Well, 6-7 cups of caffeinated beverages, because I like green tea and normal tea as well. But yeah, I could be drinking anywhere between 4 to 7 in a day before. So there we go. When we got UK Games Expo, more stuff on AI art. Some people are talking about AI art still. Aircon. Top 10s with good chemistry and banter, which is what a lot of the old Dice Tower top 10s were like. I used to watch them religiously, multiple times. Rinse and repeat, watch them when I was working from home and just put them in the background, And I do sometimes do that with some of their old top 10s. When they had the trio setups, they were really good. I just think when they've been mixing and matching too many people, you don't get the same amount of quality of banter. What do we got? Board Gaming Bollocks is great. I need to check out more of that one. I haven't really looked into that one as much, but yeah, I do know that he's willing to talk negative about a game, and therefore it's good. Although, I don't know if I need excessive swearing in my videos. That is kind of the thing. And yeah, there's more than one reason I don't go to Aircon anymore. That being said, that may be one of them, but mainly it's just too far away. Aircon is all the way up north. It takes 5.5 hours for me to drive to Harrogate from where I live, and for the sake of a weekend, barely 2.5 days of gaming, if that, because you typically have to leave early on the Sunday if I want to get back for work. It's just too much to travel for only a couple of days of gaming. I'd much rather go to a Southampton one, the GridCon one that's back home where I can see the parents. HandyCon is Milton Keynes, it's 2 hours away. 5.5 hours for just Aircon. It takes me 7 hours to drive to Essen. I can drive to Essen in just a little bit of extra time and do that entire week of gaming and trade fair, or I travel all the way to Harrogate for 5.5 hours. It's just not worth the travel time, and it's expensive. God blimey, accommodation's expensive in Harrogate. So, kind of like that. Anyway, I think we've reached the end of the chat. I think it's time I need to wrap up, because I've got a couple of things I want to do tonight before I go to bed. There are 2 things high on my list to do besides sort out my throat. Firstly, I'm going to check out Steam, because Steam's sale started today, the spring sale for Steam games, 6 p.m. GMT, so I want to see if there's any good discounts for games that I can buy, so that would be pretty cool. But mainly, I am going to go downstairs with my coffee that I haven't even started yet, that's hopefully still warm in here, and I'm going to switch on Amazon Prime, and I am going to watch the first of the new episodes of Invincible. Yes, Invincible has come out for part 2 of season 2. I love that series, and I've been waiting for more content. Cannot wait to watch another one of those. That's going to be great. So by all means, I'm going to enjoy that. So yeah, thanks for everybody for the chat. You've all been great. Thank you everyone who stuck around for so long. hopefully you enjoyed this video. You know, maybe I'll try something similar in the future, although I don't know what else I could really talk about from a behind the scenes perspective, but we'll see. Anyway, it's good to do these live streams, and hopefully you found it enjoyable and insightful. So take care, everybody. I'll see you later, and I guess we'll go for the whole, while we're on the subject of catchphrases, remember, it's only a game. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now, everyone.